What's going on, my good people? What's going on? Tune on in with your boy. Y'all know what time it is. Josh, what's the word, my dude? What's going on with you, man? It's already almost halftime in this basketball game. Willie Jack, there my dog is.
What's going on?
Let me turn you up, Willie Jack. Let me turn you up. What's up with you, bruh?
Boy, you weren't lying. Boy, you sound terrible.
I told you, man.
I ain't noticed it's back on the phone, but boy, you sound horrible right now, boy. Golly. Yeah, man.
Hey, but
Josh,
that's what
what's
we
going
do, man.
on, man?
That's what we gonna do here. I'm gonna push through. You know what I'm saying?
Already.
I'm here for the people. You know what I mean? I'm here to
You
give
already
the
know.
people what they want, dog.
Already know that.
They might not be able to hear me that clear, but they gonna get this message.
Well, you ain't never had nothing to say no way.
You a lie. You a lie. You a lie. Willie, how your day been today, man? How your day go, bro?
Oh, yeah, man. It was straight, man. Just, man, same old same, man. Shoot, same old same, man. Same work, grind every day. My mama in town, though. So, yeah, my mama been in town since Mother's Day, so she here all week, but.
Oh, yeah? Your mama had it. She had an extended Mother's Day. She like, yeah, it ain't just Sunday. You need to do something for me Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Man, hey, you ain't lying, boy. Yeah.
That's the name of the game, bro.
She was trying to force her way on the video. Boy, I was like, man, look, you better go find something to do.
She's finna come on live, bro.
Hey, she was trying to be a special guest host. I was like, man, hell no.
Hey, your mama got a team, bro? Do your mama got a team? She a Steelers fan too?
Yeah, by default. Yeah. By default.
You definitely just made it up. She definitely ain't no Steelers fan.
No, I mean, well, she don't know the game, but she know if the Steelers playing, we want the Steelers to win. I say that much.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I can rock with that.
Yeah.
I can rock with that.
For sure.
But yeah, man. You got some people. You get some people in here, man. Who coming in?
Oh, man, I'm sitting there tripping.
You tripping? Get them on in here, man, so we can get this thing rolling, dog. We got some stuff to get to today.
For sure.
Got some stuff to get to today. Let me see something here. And I ain't gonna lie, my list gonna be awkward for you too. I know my list gonna be different, but I can't wait though. I'm ready.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I think that we well, I guess we ain't talked about yet, or we ain't announced it yet, but since we're doing top 10s, my top 10 I feel like is probably the expected top 10. It might be a difference in the order, but I think it's the expected 10. You
Tom, what's the word, bro? What's going on with you?
Tom, what's happening?
You say your top 10 expected. I think you might have
I mean, as far as the teams, I think the teams aren't gonna be hard to guess. Now the order may be different, but I don't think I got no real eyeballs in there. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking now. I don't think I got no real eyeballs in there. I might be a little higher on like two teams. Yeah, so I may be a little higher on a couple teams, but I don't think it's gonna be too crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Mama win. What's going on, Mama? Yeah, she just left. They just got on.
And
Tom said the Texas 7 or 8. Hey, I'm gonna tell you like it's time. Well, they ain't in the top 10. But I'm gonna tell you this: y'all ain't at the bottom of the league. You know what I'm saying? As far as me, y'all ain't at the very back though.
What are you talking about? 7 8 from 32? That's what you talking about?
Yeah, it must be. 32.
But now I think that's too generous.
What's going on?
They ain't that high. That's too generous. That's too generous. They rolling in here now, Willie Jack.
Yeah,
they Jarrell. Well, Jarrell, what's up with your bro?
Real, what's happening, real? Yeah. Let's go ahead and knock that news out. Let's get it going while we got a couple folks in there.
All right, man. Let's go and get it going, man. Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Him and my main man, Willie Jack. and y'all know what it is, man. First off, let me apologize. My voice, you know what I'm saying, been dealing with the sickness the last couple of days. But like I told y'all, well, y'all probably wouldn't hear in the beginning, but like I just told Willie, I'm still going to give it to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to give it to y'all, give y'all exactly what y'all want to hear, man, because that's what we do, man. That's what we're here to do, bring y'all this news, bring y'all this information. And today, this is where me and Willie told y'all last week, man, this is where we can start having a little bit of fun, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're going to do today. I'm pretty sure me and Willie going to definitely go back and forth today. He might have a little bit of other advantage, not on knowledge, just on voice volume.
They already know that part.
On voice volume, that's the only advantage he have on me on voice volume. Say I might hear him more clear, but hey, it's all good, man. We're going to get to it anyway. But first, let's jump into some of the news, man. Light news day to day, but we're going to touch on it anyway, man. Let's first touch on the former New York Giants.
Hey, Drill, my bad. Go ahead. What? I said, Drill said, I'm taking on the shade. My bad, man. I meant to grab a glass or something, but, man, hey, it was showtime.
They stressed my boy out on the job, man. Matter of fact,
that's
what is that? That's Budweiser. Give a call to him,
hey, this man. Hey, we only got one sponsor on this show. We only got one sponsor on this show. We don't say no names.
We get another one. Tell them to come on with it. Nah.
Yeah, they better send a check. They want to hear their name on this show. They better send a check. Yeah.
Hey, but look, man. Let's touch on former New York Giants cornerback James Bradberry. He has officially been released. All right, officially been released. Willie Jack. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe they don't have enough money to pay him what he wants to be paid. Maybe they thinking something else. What's your thoughts on this one, man? Or do you have any landing spots for him or anything? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, and see, the thing is, well, excuse me, he's already paid because they brought him over in free agency from Carolina. So he's already paid, but the talk was that I guess they can't afford him going forward or something. It's being put out as a salary move. They needed to either get under the cap or they wanted the room for something else. But they rumored to be letting him go, and they did. Kadarius Toney was also rumored to be either moved or let
get him out of there.
And so I think it's just, you know what I'm saying, new team, new regime coming in, and like I said, they make it wrong for the guys they want or for the moves they want to make. But as far as the player himself, very solid corner. Not a top 5 guy, but probably a top 10 guy, or you know what I'm saying, right there in that world. So very solid guy. But kind of like we was talking about before in the group, I hate the timing of it, man. Like it does a disadvantage. Now I know you. Well, I ain't gonna talk about your point. I'll let you do that. But in my mind, it does a disadvantage to him and a disservice. You knew you was gonna move him. It reminds me of when Carolina let Cam go, and everybody knew Carolina was cutting Cam for 6 months, and then they wait like 2 weeks before the season to do it officially. You know what I'm saying? It just really screws the player, and so it can screw the player. Josh Norman went through this when he left Carolina as well. Now, he still got a big bag from Washington, and they overpaid for him, but he still was able to get a really big bag from Washington when it happened to him. But that's not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Like, his most opportune time to really cash in and get a bag would have been when there could have been a real-life bidding war for his services. We just seen J.C. Jackson get cashed out. Denzel Ward just got cashed out. Now, he wasn't going to make as much as those two guys, but he's probably going to be the third guy that would have been wanted between them. Cause I can't think of any other big name free people that were in that mix. So he'd probably been that third guy. But my point is, I think it does him a disservice. Landing spots for him, realistically,
I think y'all
need him.
Y'all need him.
We do. But see, I don't know with the money because our cap is tough, and we got to sign Minkah Fitzpatrick. So we got Minkah's contract coming up, and we got somebody else's. I think Deontay Johnson's contract coming up as well. So our money's kind of tied up. We could definitely use them. I mean, if Kansas City had the money, Kansas City for sure. They've been looking for corners for it feels like years. You know what I mean? So I mean, Kansas City there. Oh, I got. You know what? Dallas, a running mate for Trayvon Diggs.
You think so?
I would like to see it. Skinny said Atlanta. He ain't going to Atlanta though, because he's a free agent. He get to choose. He ain't going down there in Atlanta. Hey. Outside of being in Atlanta, I ain't going down there to that trash. You know what I'm saying? That dumpster fire team. Hey. Oh, Josh said what we talking about? We talking about James Bradberry, the corner from the Giants, got released.
Hey, that'd have been nice too, man. That'd have been nice, especially over there alongside AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell gonna be a problem, man.
I know, not for sure. Yeah, for sure. And that's what's so funny about AJ Terrell. And when he was coming out of Clemson, I liked him a lot. He got abused against LSU. The boy didn't go first round because what Jamar Chase did to him. Literally. And to make it so bad, like he was in Jamar Chase's pocket every catch, but he just couldn't stop him at all. Jamar went for like 168. I mean, he was just abused that boy. Knocked that boy at the first round. But no, he's nice.
But that goes to show you, man, some people would take a little bit longer for them to develop than other players. Jamar Chase, rookie year, he came into the league and he set the league on fire. AJ Terrell struggled his first year, but his second year, though, that's when he kind of bounced back and he started playing some really good ball.
Man, hold on, man.
What's up? Talk to me.
See, I don't like how we're not just going to act like Jamar Chase is the one who's Justin Jefferson came here first and was down there to Triple Crown. You know what I'm saying? That's the example. Jamar Chase followed his example. We're going to get into that later, man. Y'all ain't gonna be disrespecting my dog Justin Jefferson like that, though.
First off, you brought Jamar Chase's name up, man.
Well, in the game with Terrell.
You brought his name up. That's why I said something. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, whichever name you want to name, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's the same point. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Justin Jefferson, the third best receiver in the league. You know what I'm saying? Behind
Jamar Chase. Boy, I couldn't even hear you. Boy, your voice cutting out. I couldn't hear you. Hey, Jarrell said a move to the Cowboys also keep them in the same conference. Yeah, well, and honestly, that could be a thing, but I don't know how much animosity he had built up against the Giants because, like, that wasn't like his home team. Like when Bobby Wagner left the Seahawks, like he left the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like Bradbury was already a free agent there. He was only there for, I think maybe this was the second year, and so I don't know how many if it cut that deep. You know what I'm saying, for the Giants that it motivates you to stay in the division like it did for Bobby Wagner. Skinny said, what's going on with Mayfield? Hey, he's still there. And you know what I'm saying? And I think officially there hasn't been any style, or it's a good question for you. If you heard anything, any timeline or anything, any expected news on Watson? Is he going to get some style of official suspension or what?
The only team I'm hearing or I kept hearing was Seattle. But at the end of the day, I think Seattle really like right now for their situation and where they're at, they like either Locke or what's my guy?
Man, you better not say Geno Smith.
Geno Smith for their situation. No, this is what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I don't think they would go get a Baker Mayfield unless they got into an injury situation. Because I think right now, what they want to do, they playing the long game. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's expecting Seattle to win a lot of games this year. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the way their team is orchestrated. They're in rebuild mode. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see them going to get somebody that's going to help them win a couple extra games. You know, so to take them out of that draft position that they could possibly be in. I see them just sticking to where they at. They don't really need to go pay nobody. They just, okay, stick where you at. Let's go do this. Why we need to bring you in here and cause more problems now? We just stick with this and roll it out. I do see Baker Mayfield. I see this more of a situation being he lands on the team whoever encounters some injury situation. And we see it every year. It happens every year. Teams, they suffer injuries or they go through injuries and they need somebody. And I think he's somebody that teams will pull the plug on to try to bring him in to try to provide some type of spark.
Well, and that's still assuming he gets released because with Deshaun Watson's situation up in the air, like, I don't think Cleveland can let him go because he's still under contract right now. So he still has to get released first. But the thing I heard about Seattle was they would be interested in signing him as a free agent because they're not going to pay him the guaranteed fifth-year option. But as far as trading for him, nobody wants to trade for him. Justin Chip Smith said we need to do a live talk about the Red Tails, the football team. Outside of Scary Terry, boy, I don't know what else it is. Talk about over.
He talking about us, Willie Jack. He talking about our flag team. He's on our flag football team.
I thought he was making fun of the Commanders. My fault.
He was coming for me. He was trying to come for me.
Oh, okay.
It's all good, but we're gonna let that ride. He come for me. But
hey, Josh said, he told me I can't even hate on Geno because he's keeping his career alive at the space. No, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at him still cashing them NFL checks at all. That's a fact. But as far, you know what I'm saying. But as far as how he's viewed as an option at starting quarterback. Like, nah, that ain't it. Not if you ain't got to. But nah, like, I ain't never mad at none of these boys for cashing them NFL checks for sure.
Facts. Let's move on to the next news, Willie Jack. And this was one that you posted I think a couple of days ago, in regards to Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady, but let's put it like this. He gets a 10-year.
Go Brady, man.
He accepts a 10-year, $375 million deal from Fox Sports to be the lead analyst. Put this in perspective, y'all. Listen to me. The lead analyst. Tom Brady ain't never been no analyst.
Not at all.
He accepts a 10-year, $375 million deal from Fox Sports to be the lead analyst. Now check this out. When he decides to retire. So if it's after this year, cool. If you want to play one more year and then you want to go, that's cool. So no matter who they lead analyst is, no matter who they bring in, who they interview, in that interview, they're going to tell him, hey, look, bro, I know you're going to be the lead this year, but when Tom Brady get done, understand, you might have to take a back seat, my brother.
Well, no, because wasn't it Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, and then they just left to be the Monday night team,
right?
They just left to be the Monday or the Sunday, so it's an opening there for it. So you know what I'm saying? Hey, I take time over Troy Aikman all day long. Oh, hey. Skinny said 475. No, hey, Skinny, I ain't gonna lie. Unless I saw the wrong number, I thought the post I saw said 375.
I'm looking at 375 right now. I'm looking at 375. If they change it, I don't know, but I'm looking at 375. But look, I'm gonna say this though, Willie Jack. I think.
Hold on, wait, one more part.
Go ahead.
That 375, his career earnings as a starting quarterback in the league is 333 to date. So with this deal, after 20 years in the league and making $333 million, his next retirement contract is going to trump his 20-year career as the most decorated football player in the history of the league. And his TV contract is going to trump his career earnings.
That's crazy.
Half the time. 20 years for 333, 10 for 375. Also think about that. That's crazy.
I'm gonna say, like, I got two things I'm gonna say about this. This is the type of treatment you get when you the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? When you consider the GOAT or widely considered the GOAT, man, people want to hear you. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of respect you get. This is a field he hasn't been in. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't. Now, don't get me wrong. You see a lot of his interviews, and you see he articulates well, he speaks well, but he's never been an analyst. So the other part of that, one, you to go. So people automatically want to hear from you because you Tom Brady. The second part of that is, I think he needs to thank Tony Romo.
Right? I was just gonna say that Tony Romo kicked that door wide in for him.
Tony Romo came and kicked that door wide open because he brought something that a lot of analysts couldn't do. They weren't modern day quarterbacks. They weren't modern day quarterbacks, the type of quarterbacks that can read the field, see the type of coverage that these younger quarterbacks are looking at, call the plays before they happen, and just call the plays and be on point 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it really was.
So,
it really
so
was.
for me, if my mindset is, oh, if Tony Romo can do this, I know dang well when I get the GOAT back here behind his screen, he gonna be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or he gonna be able to do it at a different level. So I get the mindset on it, but I think Tom Brady, one, him being the GOAT, but then also he needs to thank Tony Romo for that, man. Tony Romo setting them boys up, boy.
And he really is. Hey, Jarrell said Tony a better analyst than he was a quarterback, and he said what he said. Hey, bro, that's a little harsh, man. That's a little harsh, man. God,
I'll say this. I agree because he is a hell of an analyst. He's a hell of an analyst.
That's disrespectful. Hey, Tony, man, I ain't gonna say you go to nothing, Tony, but man, I ain't gonna disrespect your whole career like that, man.
But okay, answer this question though. I know he only been doing it for a few years, but tell me he ain't the Patrick Mahomes of analysts right now. Came on the scene and everybody feel like, man, this dude might be. You know what I'm saying? Tell me he. And he ain't never come on the football scene like that.
I mean, I get what y'all saying, but man, it just sounded real harsh.
Yeah,
like when you just sounded harsh. You know what I'm saying? Little bro, what's happening? Little brother, stop. What's the word?
I'll tell you, during the game, they will move him to a pregame show, so he's good either way. Okay. That's it. Okay. Well, I should probably read that out loud. Okay, so hey, you know what I'm saying? You could tell the lineage. LaShawn the Boyce, you know, that's my last name too, if you ain't know. That's wifey right there. She says CNN reported there's a clause that if he doesn't work out commentating during the game, they will move him to a pregame show. So he's good either way. Hey, that's a great point. I guess that's a good backup plan for, I guess for CNN. But
Man, I don't think it's going to CNN, but I think CNN reported it. But no, that's a good point. Well, the thing about it is like they're gonna make it real. They're gonna do everything they can to make it as easy as possible for Romo anyway. Or not Romo, my bad. For Brady anyway. So they're gonna make it as easy as possible. And just like you said, people gonna be so excited to have him. No, there's going to be a big expectation because of the shadow that Romo left, but him being Tom, him being as he's just a desired individual. You know what I'm saying? He's just a charismatic individual. People want to be around him. You want him to do well because you're a fan of him. So I think he's going to be all right. I think he is. And then also deeper into the thing, it said that in addition to just the game calling duties, he's also going to be more of like almost like a brand ambassador or something like that. Like it mentions like the face for certain events or different other kind of aspects. So it's a big move for Tom, man. So shout out to TV, man. Shout out to TV.
Go get your bread, man. Go get your bread.
For sure,
man. Well, yeah, there's the news for today, man. And now it's time to have a little fun, man. Now it's time to go into me and my dog Willie Jack's power rankings. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna break down the each of us have a list of top 10 teams, and we're gonna break it down. We may even talk about a few teams that missed the list, something like that. We're gonna break it down for y'all. We're gonna jump into it. But before we do that, Willie Jack, you see the hoop behind me? I'm about to throw the hoop. I'm about to throw the hoop. I just need you
already know, boy. You know I come through like 0-1 Shaq every time. You know what I'm saying? Kobe just threw it over his shoulder. He didn't even look back. He know the Diesel was coming to bring that thing home, man, because you know what's going on, man.
That's right.
And without further ado, shout out to the sponsorship. The sponsorship. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe. That's 3 Amigos. That's 3 a hard way. That's a 3-piece spicy. Like, share, subscribe. Now, it's a 4-part process. I know y'all get excited thinking y'all in the dough after you like, share, subscribe. Nah, my boy. That ain't it. That just gets you in line. You ain't even got in yet. How you hating from outside the club? That's what I'm talking about. How you hating from outside the club? You in line.
Get in.
You can't even get in because you know what you got to do? You got to tell your friend. You got to tell your friend. You got to like, share, and subscribe, and then you got to tell a friend. That ain't enough either, though. That ain't enough either because you got to tell your friend to tell his friend. You following?
Talk to him.
You got to tell your friend's friend to tell his partner because everybody welcome. It's room for everybody. It's room for everybody. Everybody welcome. Like, share, subscribe. Highlight the 3 Amigos. You know what I'm saying? 3-piece spicy. 3 the hard way. Don't play around. Tell your friend. Tell your friend to tell his friend. And then tell your friend's friend to tell his partner to come on. I had to say it again in case y'all didn't hear me in the back. To tell them to come on. And holler at the 3 Amigos. Holler at your dog, Chop and Willie, on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. We appreciate the love and support as always. And now back to the regularly scheduled programming.
And I ain't gonna wait. I'm gonna kick it right off, man. I'm going in my number 10 team. All right. And I'm gonna put this out there, man. I didn't think about a lot of the off the field issues. I'm just looking at what the team did and where I think they can be right now.
That's all we do here.
Everything work out.
Everything else.
So that's why I'm gonna go Browns. I'm going Browns at number 10. And the reason I'm going Browns at number 10 is because I think they made the most important move. I think another team did that too. They made another move, but they brought over Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? They brought over Deshaun Watson. And when you bring over Deshaun Watson, this is a quarterback. And let me remind y'all, man, this guy was a top 5 quarterback in the league. A game changer. You know what I'm saying? Made a lot of plays. Stood toe-to-toe with some of the better quarterbacks in the league. Throw for throw, play for play. You know what I'm saying? Athletic, can get out of the pocket. Can throw with accuracy, throw down the field. Like anything, we was watching him develop, man, and he was becoming, like I said, one of the best quarterbacks in this league. And now the Browns have him
up to that top 5. He was creeping. He wasn't there yet. Because let's not hindsight gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we romanticize the past. He wasn't there yet, but he was creeping up there though for sure. Think about that. Think about that thing. No, he wasn't. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. Go ahead.
We can definitely talk about it. I'll let you bring it up, but I'm thinking about 5 quarterbacks, and I can't think of 5 that was better. But we'll go there. Either way,
we'll talk about it in a minute. Go ahead.
We talk about the Browns, but not only that, of course you lose. Well, we already lost Odell Beckham in the season. Now you lost also Jarvis Landry, but you bring over Amari Cooper. You know what I'm saying? One of the better route runners in the league. A great guy for separation. You still got some young guys over there. And then you still got that solid offensive line. But then last year they also had one of the better defenses in the league. A great group of defensive backs. Your front seven was solid. You still got one of the best defensive ends in the league as far as getting after the pass rusher, man. So they got a lot of pieces. So if you can get that old Deshaun Watson back, man, you cooking. You know what I'm saying? And I can even see this team, if everything goes the right way for them as far as off the field and on the field, they can even creep up, this list a little bit when it's all said and done. But for right now, they got a lot of question marks, so I got them in my 10 spot, man. Who's your 10, Willie Jack? Or what you think?
Okay, yeah, no, and I'm not mad at that. Now, I didn't put him in the 10 because there are just still so many questions. We don't know if Deshaun Watson's playing week 1.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
and
right.
that's May.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
And you know what I'm saying? So we really just don't know. Now, I had them at 12. Is where I end up finalizing them on my list. I had them at 12, so just outside that 10, and a lot of that is Deshaun Watson. Like you said, like what's going to be the deal with that? William White in the building. What's going on with the big dog? He said Deshaun will be suspended, guaranteed, and I imagine so as well. But I imagine something as well, but we don't know what just yet. And then also, man, it's not just picking up a bike and getting back on. You know what I'm saying? He stepped away from the game, and like. There's no replication for game speed. You know what I'm saying? Chop can tell you that. I can tell you that. Anybody who played the game can tell you that. There's no amount of practice that still gets you ready for game speed. You know what I'm saying? You go through 2 a days, you go through all the all-season work and everything, and everybody's still gassed, you know what I'm saying, after that first quarter of the first game. It's a different speed. It's a different feeling. It's a different rush, a different adrenaline. So he's still going to have some things to shake off and get right himself as well. But I agree with what you said. Like I said, as far I don't think it's terrible. Like I said, I had him at 12, but so I don't think it's terrible at all. My number 10, I've got Baltimore. I got Baltimore at 10, and it's one of those things where Baltimore, there's a couple teams in the league that have a real deal established brand. You know what I'm saying? Like Baltimore is one of those teams. I think the Steelers are one of those teams. The Patriots are one of those teams, and so on and so on. Certain teams that just have like an established brand. Doesn't even matter who's necessarily there, who's not necessarily there. You know what you're going to get when this team comes to your stadium or you go there. You're going to get a physical team. You're going to get a team that is that's aggressive defensively. You're going to get a team that's going to run the ball. And this is before Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Like you get, like these are the things that just haven't changed. They stay on brand. And that's Baltimore. They're always going to be physical. They're always going to be tough. They're always going to play hard. They're always going to make you put both chin straps on. They're always going to make you put your big boy pads on that day. And that, like I said, they're always going to be competitive, and they're always going to have a shot because they've got, you know what I'm saying, they've got their guy playing point guard, man, and Lamar Jackson. And so they're always going to be right there in the mix. A team that was decimated by injury for a lot of for last year on the defensive side. Now a regression by Lamar Jackson as well, along with some injury concerns as well. I'm not even worried about them losing Hollywood Brown in the offseason via a trade because their style of offense that's not a big hit, or it's just not a substantial loss. You know what I'm saying? And also, he was yet to really kind of set himself apart as a key component. Yeah. You still have Rashad Bateman, who came in last year, who once he got a late start with injury, but actually performed pretty well once he actually got on the field. And so, like I said, the running backs are coming back, the corners are coming back. They had an excellent draft as well. And so I expect this to be a real bounce back year for Baltimore to not come in and dominate there at 10, but to be firmly in the mix. You know what I mean? They're definitely firmly in the mix as a respected contender for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like I agree with you on a lot of the things that you said about the Ravens. And the Ravens are actually on my list as well. So I won't give you too much, you know what I'm saying? But for a lot of the reasons that you said, man, I'm gonna jump into it when it's my turn. Well, go ahead, jump into your number 9 too, and then I'm gonna come back with 9 and 8.
All right, for sure. Now, my number 9, now I don't know if they even made your list or not. No, you know what? They probably didn't. If you had Cleveland 9, well, no, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go. They probably didn't because you don't know no better. I'm going to go Indianapolis. And honestly, I consider even moving them up not too much more, but another spot or two, because I see a very, very, very complete team that now they finally have a real quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, they finally have a real guy that you could be confident in, a guy he's experienced. He's been to the highest of the highs. He's been through the lowest of lows, and he's still got tons of good ball. I'm not in love with their weapons on the outside. I mean, outside of Michael Pittman, I mean, I don't really love what else they got going on at the position. But still the makeup of this team is another team that's got a terrific offensive line, a studly young back, and Jonathan Taylor. A very, very, very solid defense as well. DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard. And so this is a team that's just all around very, very solid. If it wasn't for like a choke job at the end of the year, it would have been a playoff team. You get waxed, you know what I'm saying, against one of the worst teams in the league, the worst team in the league by the Jacksonville Jaguars in your division. But I think Matt Ryan's really going to come in there and kind of solidify everything else that was already kind of there. And just wait. They've been waiting for somebody to come and like pick this mantle up and go ahead and run with it. Carson Wentz just wasn't that guy. So I think Indianapolis, especially in that division, Tennessee's taking a step back. Houston is still Houston. Jacksonville's still Jacksonville. So I think they should be able to run it back and win that. Well, they should be able to run back the similar style success they had last year, except now they may even overtake Tennessee and win that division. So I got Indianapolis at 9.
Got you. And I like that move too, man. And that was a team that was in my mix of that 10 spot. But I just figured, you know what, let's go ahead and be different. I had a feeling, you know, these were going to be similar teams, but I knew the Browns would be a little bit different. But still, at the same time, I do think their upside, you know, is tremendously high. You know, if everything can fall the right way for them, you know, I'm talking about the Browns. But Indianapolis, man, I do agree with a lot of the things that you said. They're a quarterback away from winning a few more games. But I just didn't think they were as strong defensively as some of the teams that I'm going to get ready to mention, you know, or as solid, you know, as a full team as some of the other teams, which is the reason why I had them in my 12 spot. But
that's another Bradbury team, too. I just thought that's another Bradbury team, too. Hey.
Yeah, they need one.
Because they got Stephon Gilmore. Bring Bradbury over, too.
Yeah, they need one. They definitely need one. All right, so let me jump into my number 9, man. My number 9, and this may be different from a lot of people, man. It may surprise people, man, but I'm going with the Green Bay Packers at number 9. All right. And the reason I got the Green Bay Packers at number 9, and I know a lot of people probably still have them higher up, you know what I'm saying? And as long as they got Aaron Rodgers, they do got to have a shot. But at the same time, man, I think they lost a lot on offense. They lost a lot. When you lose your number 1 and number 2 receiver, your number 1 receiver was the best receiver in the league, and then your number 2 guy, you know what I'm saying? Your number 2 guy was a tremendous drop off from your number 1. You know what I'm saying? And you lose that too. So now it's almost like you left with crumbs. You know what I'm saying? It's like you get 2 mini size. Nah, I ain't gonna even. Never mind. That wasn't gonna be that wasn't gonna hit like the rest of them be hitting. But anyway, you lost your best piece on offense. Now, you still got that 2-headed monster running back. You know, that's going to be strong. You still got a solid offensive line. And I think your defense gets better. But at the end of the day, offensively, I think they take a step back. And I see some of the other teams that were some of the top teams in the league, they all got better. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about some of these teams that's creeping in there, you know what I'm saying, above them. But for right now, I saw Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams in a couple games, and it wasn't too pretty. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too pretty. Now, Aaron Rodgers still was okay. He was solid, but to have to carry this team all year, now you asking, how old is Aaron Rodgers? Is he 40 yet? Did he hit 40?
Yes.
He's close to it. If he not,
yeah, I think he's 40.
You paid him a lot of money, so you expect him to carry this team. But to really –
No, I'm sorry, because Tom Brady's, what, 44?
He about 45, 44, 45, something.
He probably is. So, yeah, A-Rod, he knocking on 40. If he ain't 40 yet, he knocking on. He might be 39 or something like that.
Well, anyway, I just don't think that I just don't have a lot of hope for them to go far. I mean, it's been happening year after year after year. It's like we expect. Well, I remember me and you having that conversation, Willie Jack. You think they're going to go up to Green Bay and beat Green Bay? Speaking about the Rams, because that's the type of respect we have for them. And then just like the
Well,
year
I can
before,
trust
even
y'all
before
on the road outside in the elements. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't trust y'all outside in that weather. I ain't, you know what I'm
right.
saying? And y'all went up there and it was ugly for y'all. So I was, yeah.
Hey, and shout out to my wife. Shout out to my wife. She is so beautiful. She take care of her husband. She done brought your boy some
Was she
tea
brought some
down.
tea?
She brought your boy some tea down with some lemon. You know, try to help. Hey, girl, I love you, girl.
Good. Hey, hold on. Put the tea on camera, boy. She done slid that boy a Hall's cough drop and he out here flexing.
She done got your boy a tea. You know what I'm saying? But she had the spoon in it and everything. You see the tea bag hanging out the side. I ain't gonna put the brand on there that long because y'all don't need to see
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Because they ain't sponsored.
Some lemons. You know what I'm saying? A little intimate. Hey, she love me, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get y'all a wife that love y'all. That's all.
If you can, that's a fact.
That's all. But yeah, man, I'll sit all to say, man, I think that's expecting a lot to have him carry that offense for an entire season. So that's why I got the Packers a little bit lower at number 9.
I got you.
On that
And
one?
you know, man, I don't disagree with anything you said, man. And I've got them as well, so I'll kind of go in a little bit more. But I don't disagree with anything you said, though.
Gotcha. Moving on, man. So let's jump into my number 8. My number 8, I have the Baltimore Ravens. All right. So the reason I got the Ravens at my 8th spot was because a lot of the reasons that you said, they get a lot of those guys back that were injured. On top of that, like you said, you mentioned them losing Hollywood. I don't think they lose nothing there. He was dropping a lot of passes, and I think Rashad Bateman fits better with this offense than Hollywood did. You know what I'm saying? He did play well towards the end of the season. I think they solid. You get J.K. Dobbins. People don't remember, J.K. Dobbins was a top 3 running back coming out in the class who came out with Jonathan Taylor. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the – and for a lot of people, he was looked at as the better running back in comparison to Jonathan Taylor. You know what I'm saying? So I think getting J.K. Dobbins back is going to be solid for them. They just signed Mike Davis. I don't think that's going to be too used for them. But, you know, they always use a plethora of running backs. J.K. Dobbins
They lost 4 of them last year, so they need all they can get. Yeah, they learned they lesson.
J.K. is going to lead that room. You still got Mark Andrews, who's emerged as a top 3 or 4 tight end in the league. He's going to be solid.
Top 1. Man, last year he was the best tight end in the league, arguably.
But he's a
top 3 guy for sure.
Okay, cool. I didn't say that to argue.
I was going to say top 2, but I thought about it. Like, it's still hard.
He's definitely a top tight end in the league. So Mark Andrews is there. And then that defense, they continue to add more and more pieces to their defense. And then getting one of their key pieces back, and Marcus Peters, he just fits so well with their defense. It makes them just that much more dangerous. It's going to be some trouble over there, man. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they draft the best safety in this draft?
I mean, depending on how you feel. Arguably, he was considered the best safety from Notre Dame. Now, Kyle Hamilton, yeah. So Kyle Hamilton falls as well. Now he's gonna thrive with them. Like I think he's gonna be. I don't know what type of impact he's gonna make everywhere because speed is an issue with a bigger body, how well he moves. But now Baltimore's a perfect fit for him though.
Yeah. I like it. So with a lot of those pieces, man, coming back, and then you look at it last year, even Lamar Jackson been out a couple of days, and they still went 11-5. Oh man, you got to think with a lot of the pieces that they added, man, they're gonna be good, man. It's gonna be a MF, you know, going against them. So I got the Ravens in my 8th spot, man.
Hey, you know, some might have said they looked better when Lamar was out. Some might say they got more consistent play from the guy who filled in. I'm just saying what they're saying. I wouldn't agree with that, but boy, you go line ahead. Boy, you know Lamar was looking terrible, boy. Hey, that boy got in there and was looking damn good.
Nah, he did, but they couldn't put him no points with Huntley though.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
No, I got you. Now, this is gonna take me to I'm on my number 8, right? Yeah, my number 8 is Green Bay, and so that's why I was saying like so we kind of right in line there. My number 8 is Green Bay, and the reason I had them. I've got them above. And see, I was pretty close with Indy and Green Bay. I was going to have Indy actually above Green Bay, but I ended up going Green Bay. And honestly, I don't know what to expect. Like, we've never seen Aaron Rodgers without, like, a very dependable number 1 receiver. So for all the complaining that Aaron Rodgers has done, and people like to complain about drafting #1 receiver or receivers in the first round or whatever, you ain't never seen Aaron Rodgers not have a bona fide #1 guy to throw to in his career, regardless of what round they get drafted in. I hate that conversation. Me and you both on the same page with that. So we already know the names, man. We know Jordy Nelson. We know young Randall Cobb before he brought him back. We know Greg Jennings before that, Donald Driver before that. We know Devontae Adams. So he's always had a very, very, very solid and dependable go-to guy. And this is the first year where he doesn't have that. Valdez-Scantling, well, he's gone. He's in Kansas City. You bring over Sammy Watkins. They draft Tom's boy Christian Watson out of North Dakota State. My dog Tom is convinced that that's baby Moss in the making.
I tell you what, though. He personally can't ask for a better. Y'all heard that?
It's waking up a little bit.
My wife bringing me back. You as a rookie coming in, you can't really ask for a better place to go than Green Bay. I think that's a great place to go if you're a receiver looking for a quarterback that's gonna get you the ball, find you, and put it on the money. That's one of the best spots to go to.
No, I agree with that if you're like Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson, but to be a raw, because he ain't gonna be looked at no different than Valdez-Scantling. You know what I'm saying? That's the same guy, and it took Valdez-Scantling 4 years to even start getting a decent target share, you know what I'm saying? And there was nobody else out there besides Devontae Adams getting double teamed. So and Aaron is notoriously hard on. He's got a hard personality. Greg Jennings and Donald Driver, you know what I'm saying, have came out and spoke out about it, and other players as well throughout the years. He's not a guy that's going to go out his way to build you up, to help build confidence. This is a very raw, very, very, very raw side speed prospect in Christian Watson. And so I think I get what you're saying. They have an opening, and if you are able to come in and establish yourself as somebody dependable, but man, I ain't gonna lie, I think it's gonna be, I don't imagine them to have great chemistry coming out the gate. Aaron is more so a guy that you need to show up and know what you're doing, because I'm gonna do what I got to do, and you just need to be where I need you to be when I throw the ball. I don't see Aaron taking this kid under his wing and mentoring and grooming him and helping to do things like that, like maybe some other
different many years left, huh? He ready to win.
Yeah, and he's just an asshole. I mean, that's just the word. He's an a-hole. I mean, that's just his reputation in the league. But like I said, everything else I agree. Like you said, I think we was on the same page with them. Just had them in a different spot. So I got them at 8, and that brings me to my number 7. And this is where I have the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, and see, I'm going to explain why.
Talk to me.
I'm going to explain why, because I took into account is, and this is also why I had Baltimore at 10, because the division, the AFC North, like, bro, they punish each other. Like, they really just beat up. It's just such a tough division.
Well, it's only 2 teams in that division now.
I mean, no, the Broncos still got a team, bro. I mean, I know, like, they lost Baker's injured, and Deshaun Watson is maybe suspended, but they still have a team. You know what I'm saying? The Browns are still there.
The Browns in my number 10, so I'm with you. I got you.
but that's the thing. It's just another. Now here's the thing I will say about them. Like I said, the division is super tough, and just that AFC is super tough as well. The AFC West is completely loaded. The AFC North isn't as loaded on paper as the AFC West, but just getting through it is it's a real gladiator run. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. And these are all divisional matchups. Everybody's been playing each other for 20 years. Like, these games get split. Most times you can't bank on sweeping anybody in the division. You know what I'm saying? You have to be planning on hopefully getting a split. Not to say it doesn't happen. We split the waivers last year if Black was in here, but he ain't. But so it can happen, but it's just such a tough division. And the AFC West, top to bottom, I think is ranks higher as far as this power ranking goes. And so that's why I've got Cincinnati falling in there. I love what they did in the offseason. Me and you talked before about the draft with Chicago, how it looks like you got this young quarterback who's supposed to be a future team. You didn't do anything to really give him real weapons. Cincinnati wasn't playing that. They seen the boy get sacked 10 times in the Super Bowl and be a play away from winning it. They went out, they revamped that offensive line. You get another more experienced year now with Jamar Chase. Help me out. T. Higgins has fell into that Robin role
boy
perfectly. just greatly. You know what I'm saying? So they're really solid there. They still are really dependable with Tyler Boyd in the slot. You lose Uzama at tight end. I like the draft of Daxton Hill, who's like a kind of do-it-all combo DB. You know what I'm saying? He's got safety sides. He played nickel. He runs 4-3. He can wear a lot of hats in that secondary. So I like what they did in the offseason to strengthen and give more protection and weapons for Burrow to continue success. But overall, I still think the AFC West is better, and I think there's still going to be some lumps in that AFC North as well, just getting out that division. So that's why I got them at 7.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about this pick, right? So I know you said one of your main reasons is because of the division, right? And the division being a tough division. And I agree with you. It is a tough division. It's going to be a dogfight every time they have a divisional game. Mm-hmm. So does this mean that your power rankings is based on like the final records at the end of the season, or is it more so based on who you still feel like is the better team? And the reason why I ask is because even though I know it's going to be a dogfight in this division, and they may beat up on each other, their record may say 12-4 or 11-5, but I still may think that they're better than a 13-3 team or 12-4 team. You get what I'm saying?
No, I say no. My power ranking is I'm ranking. If I had to like give in Vegas, if you was giving odds on who's most likely to win the Super Bowl, so I'm thinking like realistically, how close are you to the Super Bowl? Okay. And so I think so because sometimes the record doesn't always, you know what I'm saying, the record don't always mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? So just like we said, remember when the Cardinals was 11-0, and you told folks every week they're like, nah, they ain't it. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all tell them again? Because Willie don't do this a lot. Tell them again, Willie. Tell them one more time for me. Tell them one more time. How long I was telling them?
Bro, hey, boy, your voice going back out. Boy, sips on that tea, man. Sips on that tea. Oh, Shay, what's the word, my boy? What's going on? But realistically though, you know what I'm saying? But real talk, so the records can be misleading, and that's exactly why this show is called Let the Film Speak. We don't give a damn about that 11-0.
It don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing.
You know what I'm saying? It don't mean nothing at all. You might have played the Jaguars 11 weeks in a row. We don't know, or the Texans. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So their record, they may have a better record than some of the teams ahead of them. But when I'm thinking how are you going to do in your division? And then I'm thinking playoffs, like realistically, how far do I think you can go? Or you know, like realistically, I'm thinking playoff matchups, who can get you out of there? And so I take kind of that to account, and not just like, I didn't rank it based on records, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. It's on me?
Yeah, I did 7 days. Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to jump into my number 7, man. And my number 7 is a team that almost got the Bengals. It was the first team in the playoffs that almost got the Bengals, man. I'm going Raiders, man. The Las Vegas Raiders got my 7th spot. Okay? And here's the reason. And here's the reason, and I think a lot of people are not really taking this into account. Okay? First off, let's look at the offseason moves. Of course, this is the team that picked up Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? Sure. The best receiver in the NFL. Okay, let's put that out there right now. Again.
2019? Yeah, that's probably, ain't nobody gonna argue about 2019.
Devontae Adams, you'll get Devontae Adams, you bring him over, okay, to add with Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller. You know what I'm saying? So those 3 weapons there are automatically, just from a passing standpoint, already put you in position to be, you know, one of the most powerful, you know what I'm saying, offenses in, you know, in football. You know what I'm saying? Then you still got Jacobs back there, who's not one of the best running backs, but he's solid enough to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? You need to give him the ball 20 times, 25 times in a particular game or two. You know what I'm saying? He can do that. Then you go to the defensive side of the ball. You still got Max Crosby, but you also bring over Chandler Jones. You know what I'm saying? Another nice pass rusher. And then, and I think this could arguably be one of the best moves they made. You bring over Josh McDaniels. You know what I'm saying? One thing we know about Josh McDaniels, man, he can call a game. He can put some stuff together, you know what I'm saying, and create an efficient offense. And I know that's one thing that I thought about initially as far as Devontae Adams and Derek Carr's relationship. Now, I know they played together in college, but college and pros is different. It's a different ball game. You know what I'm saying? So the relationship.
If you had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's one. That did work out. They did. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I still think it's a different ball game. So just because your relationship worked out there, it doesn't mean it's gonna work out the same at the next level. Also, I don't know if their connection is the same as Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams' connection, because that connection was still nice. And Aaron Rodgers could put balls in some places that a lot of quarterbacks can't do. So that's one thing I was worried about. But one thing that brought me back, though, was when Antonio Brown went to the Patriots, okay? And probably a lot of people wondered how that was going to work. We knew Antonio Brown was one of the best receivers. Josh McDaniels made it his point to get him the ball his first game out there. He threw him the ball about 5 times in a row and marched down the field and scored a touchdown.
2 tubs.
You know what I'm saying? He got one. He got one.
Oh, no, one got called back. One did get called back, yeah.
So he made sure he got the ball. So one thing Josh McDaniels is going to do, he's going to draw up some stuff to get Devontae Adams the ball. And then you still got to deal with Waller, who's just a walking mismatch, and Hunter Renfrow, who's run some of the best routes in the field. Hey, man, this is a dangerous team right here. And I think that Josh McDaniels is going to put this team in a position to be true contenders. Now, just like you mentioned earlier, they got a tough division as well. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about a couple more teams in this division that's going to be tough. But I got the Raiders here in my number 7 spot because of the key additions and Josh McDaniels, man. I think they're gonna be some monsters over there. So
no, and now you know what you heard that O'Shea Smakovich, he said his phone tripping, and so I don't know if he can see or hear us, but I can see a chat, and if you can hear us, we can see you in the chat, and honestly, I mean, I don't know if you maybe having trouble seeing us or the reception or something like that, but now we got you in the chat. You coming through. So you know, it looks like it's probably good on our end. It may be, like you said, something going on your side, bro. But now, I like what the Raiders got going on. I ain't gonna lie, that 7's pretty strong, bro. I ain't gonna lie, 7's strong. I had the Raiders on my list. I had them at 14. And the reason being, I don't like that defense. I like Max Crosby, but I don't like the linebackers. I don't like their secondary. I don't like that defense. And then also Josh Jacobs, I don't want to use the word regress because they had some issues on that offensive line. And he was banged up as well, but he hasn't played to the level that he played his rookie year. For a lot of different reasons. And so I look at that team and I see one big addition in Adams, and then I see Waller coming back off from it. He was kind of injured and banged up a little bit last year, so he's coming back. Hunter Renfrow, I do like his routes, but they're still missing. They don't have a way to consistently attack the deep part of the field. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what they're still missing. Hunter Renfrow is going to give you everything you need intermediate. He's going to break boys off, jerk routes, you know what I'm saying, whip routes, option routes, all that type of thing. Waller, I mean, he can run a seam and everything as well, but he's still an intermediate threat as well. You know what I'm saying? He's going to eat you up over the middle. He's a mismatch on your safety and linebacker. And Devontae Adams as well. I mean, not to say that he can't catch a deep pass. That's what I'm saying, but that's not necessarily – he's another guy that's he's gonna kill you from 10 to 20 yards more so than he's gonna kill you from 20 to 40 yards. You know what I'm saying? So they've got all these weapons that all live in the same area of the field, and like I said, it's never going to be easy to guard Devontae Adams, but it still is easier to guard just one area of the field, though. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what kind of worries me there. And then also, like, I'm not still sold on McDaniels. You know what I'm saying? We seen what he did in Jackson. We see what he did in Denver. And then how hard is it? And now the more and more I look at it or start to think about it, how hard is it to succeed and look like a genius when you know what I'm saying, you got the GOAT in the quarterback room. You know what I'm saying? So Tom Brady's time in Tampa Bay has really done a lot for his own individual legacy away from Bill and the Patriots as well. And so now it does bring into question, people now have to start to reevaluate, or at least I know I did personally, is, before if I'd have thought it was, 60-40 Bill at a time, now I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or at least not for these last 10, 15 years. But anyway, I said that to say I see where you was going with that, but man, I ain't gonna lie. I think they still got a lot more holes than a couple of other teams. Okay. Oh man, my bad, bro.
You good? You good?
No, like it was my fault, bro.
You good? You was giving me your feedback. So I'm gonna jump into my number 6 then. My number 6, I got the Chiefs. I'm standing in the division. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Standing division. I'm gonna go to Chiefs at 6. I wanted to go higher with them, but I couldn't because it didn't make much sense to me because, of course, we all know the loss of Tyreek Hill, but you also lose that back end, a really, really, really key piece to the back end of the defense.
Your defensive
going
captain.
to New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your defensive captain
Yeah.
and Tyrann Mathieu. You lose those, man. I don't see y'all actually being the same Chiefs team. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see them winning that division. I'm gonna tell y'all who's gonna win it in a little minute. But right now, I don't see them being that same Chiefs team. Now they still got Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce is still there. I actually think Juju Smith-Schuster is going to play pretty solid in this offense. He's going to do well surrounded by some of the talent that he's surrounded by. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is going to be the same team that we used to seeing. You know, that super-duper explosive team that can put up points in a matter of minutes. You know what I mean? It's going to be a little bit different watching this team. They're going to have to be more methodical. Patrick Mahomes is going to have to be a lot more consistent than he was last year because he ain't going to be able to throw a 7-yard slant or a 5-yard slant. You know what I'm saying? And he got a guy that can take it to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Now, they did bring up Valdez Scantling, but he's still not going to be that guy, the same guy Tyreek Hill is. No, let's just clear that out right now. I don't think nobody was thinking that, but I just wanted to make sure nobody was thinking that. But Travis Kelce is going to still do his thing. He's still a great route runner. And Juju Smith-Schuster, intermediate area, I think he's going to be solid too. But this is not the same team. You know what I'm saying? And the reason they actually still in my 6th spot, none of the more I'm talking about them, it's because of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Because you still got that same crew, because that same creativeness, all the same things they're able to do when they were putting things together and being creative. That's why they at my number 6 spot. But that's as high as I can go. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if this is the team that falls a little bit lower on the 10 list as the season goes on. So that's my number 16.
And you know what, man? And you know, I'm not, or you know, I'll go ahead and jump into it as well. Now, I should have said on my list, like 9 and 10, Indy and Baltimore for me was a coin flip. 7 and 8 with Green Bay and Cincinnati, same thing, kind of a coin flip. And my same thing here as well with 5 and 6, I went back and forth on as well. And listening to you, I agree. I got Kansas City at 6 as well, and I got them at 6 for the same reason you said. The same reason you said. There's a lot. I still like a lot about that team, but there's not much I love about it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Outside of Patty and Andy, like, you know what I'm saying? What really, if we take Patty and Andy, you know what I'm saying, like out of the equation or just set them to the side, you know what I'm saying? Like, who scares me over there? Nobody. Travis Kelce's getting older, and I love the guy. I respect him. He may not be. It's debatable if he's still the best. I mean, Mark Andrews was the better tight end last year. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a knock against Kelce or Kittle if he could stay healthy. But I think he's cresting that hill. And you know what I'm saying? Not to say he's not elite, but still, like, you know, he doesn't strike fear in my heart no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, playing Kelce is no different if I'm getting ready to play.
Especially now that you ain't got to play deep over the top no more.
And that part too as well. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, that part as well. So now there's an extra body that could be in the mix in that intermediate area to kind of clog and make things a little more different for Kelce. Now, not to say that before Hill, he wasn't still getting off, but he was also way younger now too. This is a guy who's turning 32 or 33 this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, them legs ain't getting any younger. You know what I'm saying? And now, like you said, without that threat over the top, we had saw last year for the first time in the 4 or 5 years they played together. Last year was the first time that I think Tyreek kind of functioned more so like the number 1 option or as close to the number 1 option as opposed to really it still being Kelce number 1 and Hill number 2. Last year was the first year that it really looked like Hill was transitioning to being the true number 1 option in the passing game, and now he's gone again. And so I agree with that, man. And then that defense, like I said, they lose their defensive captain. I really, really, really like that draft though. But these are all rookie guys coming in, and it's a lot to ask of these rookies to come in and all of them to hit right away. You know what I'm saying? Even though Trent McDuffie, I think, is going to be a fantastic player. George Karlaftis, I wasn't too high on, but playing next to Chris Jones, he's going to be a solid player in his own right, or he's anticipated to be. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, and et cetera, et cetera. They had a phenomenal draft. But just like you said, it's hard to, like, look at their raw weapons and put them ahead of some of these other teams, man. It just really is, and especially in their own division, which is going to take me to my number 5 team. It's on me to go 5, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
My number 5 team, Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers for me at 5.
Let's go.
And you know what? Nah, man, I ain't gonna lie. Cause like I was torn with all these next like 4 teams. Like 1 and 2 was my 1 and 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I mixed and matched a lot of different ways. Hold on, let the film speak.
Talk to him. Think about it, bro.
Hold on, let the film speak, man. Let me think about it.
I'm gonna tell you why you thinking about it. I'm gonna tell you right now. My 1, 2, 3 was good, and I think they by themselves. It's only one other team I think can creep in there, but they got to prove it first. But we'll talk about it. Go ahead.
No, and that's a good point. And then Jarrell had a couple comments. He said when we was talking about Kansas City without Tyreek and that threat over the top, he said now they're just gonna be sitting on them now, and that's exactly right. DBs is flat-footed now. You know what I'm saying? DBs is flat-footed now when you play Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't, man, I can bail and recover against anybody else out there. You know what I'm saying? So they not on their toes. They not looking to bail to try to, you know what I'm saying, make up them 2 or 3 yards. They're finna lose to Tyreek. So that's a very good observation, man. My dog Jarrell. And then, he has a question. He said, is Herbert that guy now? Man, hey, he's in position to take a step, man. You know what I'm saying? And I gave him a shot last year. My dog Chop told me he was ready. I tried to stamp him, and the boy, he crapped the bed on me. You know what I'm saying? He let me down. But the talent's undeniable. And you know what? Since I'm talking about him, I'm going to go ahead and rock it then. Number 5, I'm going to go ahead and say the Chargers. And I love the additions. Khalil Mack to pair with Joey Bosa.
And
J.C. Jackson coming over to really strengthen and solidify that secondary group with Derwin, with the young Asante Samuel Jr. who showed well. I liked Nasir Adderley, the other safety. He came out, I want to say like Delaware, off-brand school. I liked him a lot coming out. He came out in the same draft as the safety and Darnell Savage with the Packers. I want to say I like both those guys when he's coming out, but he's still a young guy, and I still think he's solid. But I just really like those additions they made over there. And then, like I say, you've got another year of growth and maturity from Herbert. You still have Keenan Allen. You've got $20 million man Mike Williams now as well. And then you still have Austin Eckler as well, who's a do it all around kind of combo receiving back or whatever the case. But a guy who gets in the paint, though, he's like 15 touchdowns plus last year, so he does score the ball, get in the paint. And so like there's just that's a team that's a team. We just talked about the Chiefs roster. If you take away Andy and what's the name, the Chargers are a team that you're still excited about, even if you take Herbert out of there. That defense is going to be, or it's got the pieces in place to be very phenomenal, to be exciting, to turn the ball over. They've got those pieces. And then even offensively, you still got very solid pieces in Mike Williams and Allen and those guys. Now, offensive line is a little bit of a thing. They needed a right tackle. They draft a guard. I imagine they're going to put Zion Johnson at guard and move Matt Filer back to right tackle because he's got experience playing both. So I think they do improve the line that way since they couldn't actually draft one of the top 3 tackles. But this is a team, man, where the arrow's pointing up. To answer your question, Jarrell, is he that guy? I'm not gonna say he's that guy because that guy sounds like he's you know what I'm saying, it's only one big Josh Allen. He's that guy. Now, is he a guy? He's a guy though. He's a guy though, man. This is a guy, phenomenal talent, man. Excellent arm. He's got a knack for making big plays and big throws, but he's also got a knack for coming up a little small in some of those big moments or making a big mistake, or you know. So he's also got that as well. But still, man, the arrow is definitely pointing up on this team, and this is a good chance for them to overtake Kansas City. As the forefront of this division. And that's what they couldn't do last year. And now this year, with Kansas City taking what appears to be maybe a small step back, or at least, you know what I mean, bringing themselves back down closer to the group. If he can't get it done this year, man, then he ain't that guy. He's just going to be another Matt Stafford waiting to find the Rams at the end of his career if he can't get it done, if he can't get past Kansas City this year. So I got KC 6, man, and I'm going to settle in on the Chargers at 5 right now.
Right. You hear this guy? Here you go, Team Allen, Jarrell. Here you go, dog.
Hey, I done told y'all before, man, that boy's name is Big Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's Big Josh Allen. Hey, anyway, yeah, y'all lucky the boy didn't line up at safety. He didn't win a Super Bowl.
Hey,
they needed help.
You know what? the Chargers actually did not make my list, bro. Actually did not make my list.
Really? And you got the funky ass Raiders on this list? In the same division? Really? I don't know if I believe you. I don't believe. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna listen to the rest of this. I don't believe.
The Chargers did not make my list, man. And the reason why is because it was certain spots I feel like the team struggled at. They need to address. Like, I do still believe in Herbert, but throwing the ball 45 times a game, 40 times a game, and the decisions that coaches was making, hey man, that's rough for any team. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? And they still got the same weapons on offense, and nothing changed. You know what I'm saying? And it would be at certain times I would watch this offense, and they would go stagnant. You know what I'm saying? And it would go stagnant because of not because of like who they have, but teams will figure them out. And it was like there was no adjustments made for them to get to the point where, all right, we're going to overcome this. You know what I'm saying? So with certain things like that, and then bringing over Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson, man, I just want to see it work. It got to work, man. It got to work. So that's what I'm waiting to see,
exactly, Jarrell. That boy tripping, but that boy that got sick and lost his damn mind, ain't he? The regular, but Chop, there's not 10 better teams in the league than the Chargers, bro. There's just not, man. There's just not. Definitely when you got the Raiders on your list.
In your opinion, bro.
All right.
In your opinion, man, we just watched the Chargers. They got a couple of extra added pieces, but we just watched the Chargers. They supposed to be good this year too. You know what I'm saying?
You was more excited about Chandler Jones going to the Raiders than about Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson going to play with Derwin James on the truck. Come on, man. All right, man. I ain't giving you a embarrass yourself no more, man. Go ahead and go to your next team, man.
Everything to you. Look.
It was a terrible explanation.
Okay. Hey, whatever you say,
Come on, dog.
Whatever you say. Listen, man. My number 5 team is the Denver Broncos. That's who's going to win this division. The Denver Broncos. That's who's going to win it. And you know why? You know why?
You can give me 2 guesses. I only need one. Dangerous in the building. Yes, sir. My first stepson. You know what I'm saying? He older now. He grown. He done moved out the crib. He out the nest. Got a wife now. My new stepson, Josh Allen, took his room, though.
Look, I'm getting tired of hearing all the disrespect on Russell Wilson. I'm just going to put it out there like that. Every time I turn on the TV, do Russell Wilson still have it? Can he still do this? Can he still do that? I said, y'all let one injury season let y'all think this man done lost it? Do y'all know what this man done did or been doing? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all know Russell Wilson, bro, he has been a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
In that same
you preach to the choir. Hey, you preach to the choir. You already know how I get down.
You know what I'm saying? He's been a top 5 quarterback for the last, I don't know how many years. Up until
how long he been
last year. You know,
like
until last year until he got injured. But man, they tripping, man. They tripping. But anyway, I got the Broncos winning this division. One, because they got the best defense in the division. Period. Hands out there, they got the best defense in the division, the best secondary. You know what I'm saying? They got a all-pro Patrick Surtain. He's gonna be all-pro this year. Don't worry about it.
I'm about to say he already all-pro. They got an all-pro Patrick Surtain. Let the boy make a Pro Bowl first, Chop.
No,
let the boy make a Pro Bowl first.
He's gonna be an all-pro, bro. Then you got the all-pro safety, best safety in the league, Justin Simmons. He nasty. You know what I'm saying?
Kevin Byard got a win. Kevin Byard feel a way about that statement too, boy.
Yeah. Hey, I don't care what they talk. Hey, at the end of the day, look, that's all I'm saying. Broncos, I think they have, and when you put everything together, they have the best secondary in the NFL. I think it's going to be a really, really solid defense. The one thing that they were missing is a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And they finally got that in Russell Wilson. And this is one that's proven. This ain't no one, all right, let's see what happens. Let's see what they can bring to the table. This ain't Carson Wentz going to the coach.
This ain't Teddy Bridgewater. That's what you just said. This ain't Teddy B.
This ain't none of it. Russell Wilson is a proven guy. I think this is the season we also going to see Jerry Jeudy come out to be the receiver we wanted him to be. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him being,
he ain't going to be a Justin Jefferson.
But I do see him being one of the top receivers. I think we see a bounce back season from Cortland Sutton. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna see Unleashed. This is one I'm gonna tell y'all right now. me and Willie flip-flop on this, right? Because when we
Okay.
went into the rankings, I said Najee Harris was the best back coming out, right?
I know he did. Yeah.
Willie said Javonte Williams was the best back coming out,
He was
right?
just a dog. He was.
But the
He still
crazy
is.
part is now Willie think Najee Harris is the best back, and I think Javonte Williams is. And this year we gonna see. They gonna unleash that boy. Javonte Williams about to go crazy. I expect, matter of fact, 315 carries, 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns. Mark it right now. Mark it right now. Write it down.
Hey, I ain't gonna argue with you. It sound believable to me.
Write it down.
It sounds believable to me.
1,500
You said 1,500 and 12
touchdowns. 1,500, 12 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, man. Mark it down. Y'all watch the boy. He's going to have a great season, man, and that's going to make things so much easier on Russell Wilson, man, and we're going to see that boy cook, period. He's going to be cooking. So be on the lookout for the Denver Broncos. They winning that division, man, so stay tuned on that.
I ain't gonna argue with you at all. Is it you got to do 4? Is it on?
I got my 4. I'm going to give you my 4,
okay,
and then you come back. My number 4, I'm going to go with the Bucks, man. I'm going with the Bucks. Bucks, my number 4 team. Still got pretty much the same exact team. You know what I'm saying? They missing a couple pieces now. Going into the season, I think they'll be without Godwin for maybe a couple games. Gronkowski is still a free agent. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I'm thinking they may bring him back, but we'll see. Either way.
Man, if they bring him back, it's just because Tom Homeboy. They will be fine without him.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all it will be for. But they still got one of the better defenses. They still got a strong team. And overall, when you got a team that's been playing that long together, that well together, and you still got the GOAT throwing the ball back there, you're going to be a dangerous team. I mean, they were only a few plays away from knocking the Rams out the playoffs and being the team that was headed to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So, Bucks still going to be a good team. They still going to come back strong. They still got a lot of solid pieces, a lot of young, ready-to-go pieces, and I think they're going to be ready to go this upcoming season. So I get the Bucks in number 4, man. Real
okay
for them.
No, I got both them teams on my thing on my list as well. So I'll wait on it a little bit. I'm gonna get into my number 4.
Yeah, I think you better be disrespectful. I think you about to be disrespectful.
It ain't disrespect. I got the Rams at number 4.
Disrespectful, bro.
I got the Rams at number 4.
I knew it. He was gonna be disrespectful.
But it's not disrespectful though, because for one, I don't want us to overlook in totality the run that the Rams have. And you just made a very good point. We just mentioned that Bucks game. This is a team that was 2 plays away from losing to a Bucks team that had lost 2 O-linemen at starter, had lost 2 starting receivers. A team that was really hampered and just really thugged it out on the strength of Tom Goat Brady and still took y'all to the limit. And then Ty Bowles trick it off playing zero coverage with damn Antoine Winfield Jr., the starting safety, locked up one-on-one with Cooper Kupp. That's still the dumbest play call of the season for a defensive expert like Ty Bowles. I'm not going to forgive him for it.
And let me clear this up. They ain't take us to the limit. We let them take us to the limit. All them fumbles. They was giving the ball up. But let's go ahead. You go ahead.
You call it what you want to. You were sweating. Yeah, you were sweating. You broke a sweat watching that game.
You know I was.
So that's what I'm saying. And so it's a team. And also that season was very up and down. Matt Stafford came out on fire, best thing since sliced bread, and then he had a lull, he had a dip. It was about a 4 or 5 game stretch there where it looked kind of shaky, it looked kind of ugly. Boys started to miss Jared Goff a little bit. Boys started asking if that trade was really worth it a little bit. They got embarrassed in Green Bay, had me thinking in the playoffs they ain't had no answer for them a little bit. So it was very up and down season. Now to their credit, to you guys' credit, you did bounce back, you did recover. OBJ coming in and really finding his groove was a big part of that. Von Miller coming in, finding his groove was a very big part of that as well. Both those guys are gone. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to discount how big they were to the success, getting y'all over the hump and then helping to bring y'all home throughout the you know what I'm saying, that playoff run. And both those guys are gone. Those are big holes. Allen Robinson, we know who he was 4 years ago now in Jacksonville with Blake Bortles, where he was, you know what I'm saying, he was making all these athletic catches because Blake Bortles couldn't hit the wide side of a barn. We ain't seen that guy since then. Now he's been injured. Then he went to Chicago. We know the disaster that Chicago was. Then he got injured there as well. So this is a guy who's looking to reclaim 2018 status, 2017 status. We don't know what we're going to get from Allen Robinson. You know what I'm saying? And you still got Cooper Kupp there who's going to, you know what I'm saying, live and do his thing in the slot and be the go-to guy. But there's still a lot of questions on this defense. Also, you bring over Bobby Wagner, and I really do like that to help solidify the middle of that defense. So the middle of the defense gets better, but the edges get worse because you lost Von Miller in free agency to Buffalo. Who's the outside linebackers right now?
Well, they still got Leonard Floyd over there. I
Leonard
don't know who they're gonna have to replace what Von Miller brought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you still got Leonard Floyd who's hot and cold. You know what I'm saying? So he's hot and cold, and then of course you've got you've got AD in the middle, but there's still a lot of I don't know if I can say full-fledged holes. I don't want to overdo it, but there still are some areas of concern on that team, and I don't know if this offseason y'all really addressed like what you lost. You know what I'm saying? So that's what worries me there. That's going to take me to my number 3 team. You know what I'm saying? Them Dangerous Broncos at number 3. You know what I'm saying? I agree. I do think they win this division. Now, this is where I'm going to disagree. They don't have their secondary. They don't have the best secondary in that division. I'll take the Chargers secondary all day long. I'm still taking J.C. Jackson over Patrick Surtain, and Patrick Surtain was nice. I'm not going to discount him. He was nice. He was even. I don't think great might be a stretch, but he was super nice. He was great as a rookie starting corner for sure. But I'm not going to say who right now today or yesterday would you have ranked Patrick Surtain ahead of J.C. Jackson off this last season? We wouldn't have, not realistically, and that's not a knock against them, but I would still feel like the Chargers have the better corner, the better number 1 corner. I think Derwin James and Justin Simmons is solid and he's nice. Derwin James, healthy last year, showed exactly why he's the guy we thought he was. So that's a wash. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think they play different games too. And
that's true too.
Yeah, because what they do with Derwin James and you sure you can attest to it, but they can match Derwin James up a lot.
That's what I'm saying. He's more of a matchup piece. You can actually put him on. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So they do a little different things, but I'm sorry, it's just as far as the strength of the position, I'll call them a wash. Both of those guys, for what they do, are near the top of the league. I give the edge to J.C. Jackson over Patrick Surtain as a corner, and I like the pass rushers on the Chargers better than I like the defense. This team that lost Von Miller. Bradley Chubb has been injured. Half his career has been injured, and he's flashed when he's been on the field, but he just hadn't been on the field long enough. So you got Bradley Chubb, who's been inconsistent due to injury. You bring over Randy Gregory, who has been, when he's been on the field, he's been hot and cold. And then last year, he has a good enough season to finally get him paid. But I'm not taking those two guys over Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Like, bro, you missed the boat on that Chargers defense, bro. The Chargers definitely have a more talented defense top to bottom, in my opinion, but I feel way more comfortable with Dangerous Wilson pitching the peel than I do with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert got to earn them stripes. You know what I'm saying? Dangerous has been in them positions. He's been a guy carrying a less talented team and keeping them competitive for half a decade. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I've always been a big fan of Russ and thought he didn't necessarily get enough credit or enough due. Like I said, it was a dynasty, the Legion of Boom, when they won that Super Bowl, I give you that. But that dynasty faded fast, and Dangerous kept them boys eligible and in the playoff hunt consistently for another 5-6 years. You know what I'm saying? So now, like Chop was saying, he's at a team now where he's got real weapons. Cortland Sutton is his new DK. Jerry Jeudy is hoping to be his new Tyler Lockett. Javonte Williams is his new Marshawn Lynch. I compared Javonte Williams to Marshawn Lynch in my draft analysis when he was coming out. Man, that contact balance, boy, I swear, man, I'm telling you, that boy was jumping in boys' chest, boy. I loved watching a lot of his runs, man. Javonte Williams, boy, Quiddy Payne's a couple guys that just stood out to me, boy. He's like, these guys I'm just follow the rest of their career. But so I really like what they've got. So I see the makings of of a young Seahawks team where he had so much success, at least offensively. Except I think the offensive line is better in Denver. That was always an issue in Seattle once they all got old after that Marshawn Lynch era, and then they never really revamped it. And I think the defense is going to be better than Seattle. So I'm really expecting big things from Danger Russ. The only thing is how fast can they acclimate? How fast can they can they get in the groove and start to really kind of hit the ground running? How fast does that happen? And I'm betting pretty damn fast, man, because like I say, I ain't gonna doubt Danger Russ at all. So I got Denver as the number 3 spot for that reason.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I respect it, but I still, as much faith as I have in Russell Wilson and his ability to change the team, I still think they're gonna go through their growing pains, and they're gonna have to grow. They have to grow together. You know what I'm saying? And come together. I think they're gonna do enough to win this division, but I don't know if they'll be better than some of the top teams that I got on my list at the end of the day. And as far as the defenses, and I ain't gonna go keep going back and forth with you, but it just was like the secondary as a whole. I do agree, J.C. Jackson. I'll take J.C. Jackson over
Surtain
before the season start. Yes, but watch what I tell you, bro. I'm telling you.
No,
That's all I'm
nice.
saying.
No, he nice for sure. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking him.
But I'm gonna say in totality, you know what I'm saying, looking at the number 2 corner on the other side, you know what I'm saying, and looking at the other safety they got besides them as an entire group.
Kareem Jackson is solid. The other corner, I'm trying to think, who was it? Bryce Callahan in the slot?
It was Ronald Darby.
Oh, Ronald Darby been hot and cold since he was in Philly. When I remember he was coming out of Florida State, like those aren't difference makers, and not like I don't feel any better about them than I do with Asante Samuel Jr. with the with the Chargers, because Asante Samuel Jr. is a player. You know what I'm saying? So I think they balance out, but I think Derwin can watch him or can watch Simmons, and I think JC trumps Patrick Surtain, or at least like you said right now. I mean, yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
I get what you. Yeah, I get what you saying.
But we'll just see. We'll just see how it play out. We'll see how it works.
Hey, real quick, couple comments, real quick, man. As far as Jarrell, when I went through and explained my Rams at 4, he said he thinks it's respectable because of the losses that they took. You know what I'm saying? And then also he said, dang, Russ pushed the Broncos all the way up to 3. He said he ain't feeling that one. But I'm gonna tell you why. It's not just Russ. I think the Chiefs do take a small step back, honestly. I really think they do. I think the Chiefs take a small step back. And honestly, Justin Herbert, I need to see some consistency before I can give him that nod. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, because I think that's going to be the best division in football, which is why, like I said, I had Cincinnati and Baltimore lower on the list, because I think the West is just a tougher and more talented division than the North is. And so with them being the top team in what I think is going to be the toughest division in the AFC, that's kind of how I got to that rationale to put them up there. But I understand what you're saying. And then Darby used to piss him off. Yeah, I bet he did. Yeah, I remember him coming out of Florida State, man. He was solid. He wasn't in my top 3, but I think he was like somewhere around 5 or 6. But yeah, no, I understand it.
Got you. All right, man. Let me jump into my number 3, man. And my number 3 is actually the Rams. I went with the Rams at number 3. And just so y'all know, man, I don't show no team bias with my squad, man. It is what it is for me. You know what I'm saying? But I think the Rams take a step back. I do like the Bobby Wagner move. I think that's going to be a tremendous help in our run game, and that's something that we needed when you look at, how we stopped teams last year. So I definitely think that that helps us there. But like you said, we lost Von Miller. Von Miller stepped up big in some crucial moments and some crucial games last year for us. You know what I'm saying? Von Miller was the reason we had home field advantage in the playoffs in that game versus the Raiders when he came away with that sack. You know what I'm saying? He got key sacks in the playoffs. Like, Von Miller was huge. Also, losing Whitworth on that offensive line. That's huge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
That's another piece. You know what I'm saying? So I do have more faith in Allen Robinson than a lot of other people do, because one, he's coming over to a much, much better, probably the best situation he's been in his entire career. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I'm expecting to see something similar to what we've seen very early in his career with the Jaguars. You know what I'm saying? Back with Blake Bortles. I'm expecting to see more of that Allen Robinson
Production
than the Allen Robinson we've seen after that year with the Jaguars.
these last
Even over
4
with the
years.
Bears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But even this past year was terrible. But the year before that, he was pretty solid with the Bears. I think he still came away with like 100 and some catches. His yardage total wasn't through the roof.
I don't think he had that many catches.
Yeah, he probably had like 1,100, 1,200 yards. Nothing outrageous, nothing crazy. But he had a very solid year. You know what I'm saying? And I'll look it up before we run. But he had a really solid year.
Okay.
The year before last. So I'm expecting more from him. Now, this other situation too that's kind of worrying me a little bit is this situation with Odell Beckham. All right. Okay, he had 100. Yeah, he had 102 catches, 1,250 yards.
Okay, yeah,
So,
I ain't gonna. I was trying to remember. I couldn't even remember. Oh no, that's when Mitch Trubisky was started half the year. Those last 6 games.
Yeah.
I think it was because Mitch started playing decent ball those last 6 games. If y'all remember, he really did.
Yeah. And Scott just says if Robinson was on pretty much any other team, he'd be considered one of the best wide receivers in the league. And I kind of felt that way about him. You know what I'm saying? Because he showed some great things. He was just in horrible situations. But this right here under Sean McVay, with a quarterback that can get on the rock, also with another weapon on his team that can take some of the pressure off him, I expect to see some really good things from Allen Robinson. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen. Now, like I was going to say, this Odell Beckham thing, I really wish, you know what I'm saying, we can keep him. I don't know what it's looking like right now.
Bro. He's out of there,
I
man.
ain't letting it go.
He's out of there.
Until he signed his name, Odell Beckham Jr., with another team, I ain't giving it up, bro. I ain't giving it up. So
if he's smart,
he like to have him. If we have him, I think that takes us. That may move us up a spot or two. But right now, I got the Rams at number 3 because, and even though they are former Super Bowl champions, because of those losses, I think those are very key losses. And I think the Rams I don't think they take a huge step back. It's just a very small step back in a mix in the mix of teams that all got better, if that makes sense. So everybody that was close to, I think they got better around them. They take a small step back. So I got them in my number 3 spot.
Okay. No, I got you.
And then number 2 spot. Okay. My number 2 spot. I'm going to go with your boy here, Willie Jack. I'm going with your dog. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, man.
Boy, you crazy.
I'm going with the Buffalo Bills at number 2, and here's why. Right? Buffalo Bills is another team. I think they get a little bit better, but I didn't think they got tremendously better. You know what I'm saying? You still got Josh Allen, one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Your run game is still non-existent. Until they show me something different, their run game is non-existent. And I think that's the part that hurts Josh Allen the most. Okay? Mm-hmm. It hurts Josh Allen the most because it doesn't open up things. It also, if we remember the offense last year, it forced him to run the ball 12 times a game. You know what I'm saying? And as your franchise guy, that's even though he's big, he's about 240, something like that.
Yeah, 240, 250.
Even though he's a big guy, he can probably take more hits than your average quarterback. He is that's not what you want from your starting guy, putting your starting guy in that type of position. They need a run game to help this team get to the next level. As far as him on offense being able to put his team in position to win games, we see he can do that. They went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs' offense last year with Tyreek Hill and was a coin flip away from possibly winning that game. Probably one of the most, in my lifetime, top 5 game of all time. You know what I'm saying? Just off the top of my head, definitely a top 5 game of all time as far as all the games I've seen. The defense is still good. I still think they need a little bit more on that pass rush. But as of right now, they
brought over Von Miller.
They brought over Von Miller? Well, okay. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see that Von Miller is a good addition to that pass rush. But I still think I need to see a little bit more from this offense and this run game to make this a fully complete team. But with all that said, they're still one of the best teams in the league. They got all the other pieces are in place for this to be a Super Bowl bound team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they raising the trophy at the end of the year. So Bills my number 2.
All right, I think I'd have figured out who your number 1 team is.
Yep. You know it.
Yeah, I say, you know what, TDM, boy, you crazy, boy. Boy, I told y'all Chop had that stuff, man. I feel bad for him, boy. I can't
All right.
believe it. Can't believe it.
All right. Come
My
on, let's
number
talk.
two, my number two team is Tom Brady now. Tom Brady now number two, man. And the way I looked at Tom Brady now, they play in Florida if y'all ain't know. But Tom Brady, the reason I looked at Tom Brady and them, I thought about them the same way I thought about Baltimore. This is a team who they got injured, and they got injured at kind of the worst time. They had some other distractions as well, some other drama behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? But now more or less, everybody's not back. They didn't necessarily run it right back like they did last season as far as bringing every player to the roster right back. But more or less, they still have the core, the bulk of the core of that team still there. Tom Brady's there. And now Chris Godwin, he's coming back. He's back from injury. We're going to assume he's 100%. You still have Mike Evans there, who's still just as reliable as he's been for the most part. Leonard Fournette comes back, who had really kind of found his groove right there, you know, playing with Tom in that team. You still have Tristan Wirfs, Tristan Wirfs on the offensive line. You still got Donovan Smith on the other side. You've got a solid offensive line still. They bring over Shaq Mason as a gift from Bill Belichick. A freebie is a Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber guard who they got for pennies on the dollar. So he comes over, so the offensive line may even be stronger because Shaq Mason's a better player than Alex Kappas was last year. I think it's who was starting at guard. So I like the offensive line. I like the Tom on offense with his weapons back healthy, and he's Tom. And then that defense, man. That defense is still very young, still very good, very solid. You've still got Levante David, man, the elder statesman of that defense. Very underrated guy, man. For the bulk of his career, supremely underrated guy. Now, he's one of those guys where he was a great player that played in an era of all-time players. Because he's a great player, I think, but he played with Patrick Willis and Luke Kuechly, who are all-time. So he's in that shadow. You just can't break through that. You know what I'm saying? As good as he is. But he's a very, very good player, man. You still got Devin White, young guy who's playing alongside him. Joe Tryon, I wasn't a fan necessarily of the pick when he's coming out, but he looked pretty strong as an edge rusher. You still got Vita Vea in the middle. I mean, Shaq Barrett is still there. The secondary is pretty deep as well. Murphy Lee Bunting, Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield Jr., who I absolutely love. Antoine Winfield Jr. is going to be a top safety in the league, top 5 safety in the league this year. That's yeah, him at safety as well. So this is a team, and also their division. We don't know what we're going to get from the Saints. Now the Saints have owned Tom Brady since he got there. I think he's 0-4 against them, but still, we still don't know. We don't know. I don't know what those Saints are going to look like without Sean Payton. I just don't. I don't know what Michael Thomas is going to look like 2 years outside of football. I don't like Trevor Penning at left tackle, especially if you got to start him from day one. That offensive line is weak. That defense is going to really be stout. But even still, you don't know what you're getting from the Saints. The Falcons are a dumpster fire. And then who's the team I'm missing in that division, bro? And then Carolina is damn near just as bad as Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So I think they have an easier path in their division. And I still, assuming they're healthy, I still like them against most anybody in the league. And like I said, when I talk about the Rams, I already talked about they took the Rams to the wire, -2 starting offensive linemen and -2 starting receivers, and they still took them boys to the wire. It was a bad play called by Todd Bowles. We ain't gonna get back into it. So for that reason, man, I think Tom picks up right where he left off, and like I said, and I like that they have an easier path through their own division. I think that's something that can't be understated because the Rams still got to go through the Niners, who be spanking y'all ass, even though y'all finally got one in the playoffs. But y'all still got to get through them Niners. You know what I'm saying? You know what? The Cardinals. Yeah, it is just that. It felt like that division last year was super tough, but it was just y'all the Niners.
I don't think the Cardinals gonna be bad this year.
The Cardinals were pretty strong last year as well. But even still, I still prefer Tom Brady now to what we got. I think the Rams lost more piece. The Rams took a further step back than they replaced than Tom Brady now. Because they got injured guys coming back, whereas y'all lost Von Miller, didn't replace him. Y'all lost OBJ. You hope to replace him with Allen Robinson, but he's a different style player.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
the
saying?
Bucks lost AB.
They did, but they get your boy Godwin back. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't let AB cook like he could have. That could have been 1,500 yards if they wanted them. Bruce Arians didn't want them 1,500, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I say all that to say, I think Tom Brady and them are assuming they come back healthy, just like we talked about with the Ravens. Assuming they come back healthy, man. This is still very much damn near the same roster that went to back-to-back Super Bowls. And so I've got the number 2, which brings me to, it should be obvious, man. Big Josh Allen, man.
Before you move to your number 1, we did all this talking about how Packers ain't really do much on offense. What if they go get AB and Odell?
They won't. They will. Maybe Odell, because Odell.
Let's think fantasy wise. Let's just fantasize about that. That would be nice.
Yeah, but also those guys are similar style. Like they affect the game in similar ways.
They can do everything though. Like
that's what I'm saying. So like,
do everything.
No, that's what I'm saying. And so it's hard to have 2 of those guys and equally feed them. Like offenses are better, not because you have the 2 best guys, but you've got 2 guys that complement each other better. I think I think it'd be more successful if you have one of those guys and Mike Evans as opposed to 2 ABs or 2 OBJs, because it's you need them guys to do the same thing. That's why Russell Westbrook and LeBron James can't play on the same team. They're the same player, except one of them's popular. But one of them can shoot now. But before LeBron James couldn't shoot, he was Russell Westbrook. He was 6'8".
You about to ruffle up a whole nother thing of feelings.
Hey, that's another story though. That's another story though. But let me get back to the number 1 team in the land. You know what I'm saying? The baddest band in the land. You know what I'm saying? One band, one sound. Big Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, man. The best quarterback in the league, maybe the best player in the league, man. Offensive player in the league. But Big Josh Allen, I like the moves. The move to bring over Von Miller, I think, is phenomenal. Now they gave him $100 million. Now shout out to Von for getting that bag. But he's a guy who was on the backside of his career. But as we just established with those Rams, once Von got in and got comfortable, Von was fine. You know what I'm saying? Von was Von again. You know what I'm saying? He was a very big part in helping the Rams get over that hump. So now you bring him in to spice up that pass rush and to really pair well with they've got a young group of guys. They've been searching for a true dominant edge rusher and tone setter on defense. And now you got that with Von. Gregory Rousseau showed himself well as a rookie. Shout out to Chop. I didn't see it in college. I didn't trust it in college. Chop still had him on his top 5, I think, at number 5. He might have been number 10. I just couldn't trust it. He showed himself well as a rookie. They've got a whole bunch of other young guys they've drafted. Epinosa, Ed Oliver's still there, et cetera, et cetera. But Vine, I think, is going to make the rest of that group better. I like their linebacker group. Is it Tremaine Edwards or one of them Edwards boys? There's 3 of them in the league. One of the Edwards boys, Matt Milano, another guy who's very underrated. And I love their secondary as well. They've got the best safety tandem in the league, and Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. So as far as on one team starting 1-2 punch, I think that's the best tandem off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. I don't know who's stronger at both positions than those 2 guys together. And they play excellent together. Tre'Davious White is still there at corner. I think he was banged up. He was a little banged up last year, if I'm remembering right. So now you got him coming back. They drafted a guy, Kyer Elam. Now, I don't know what you're going to get out of him as a rookie. But still, this is a team that they didn't add much, but they didn't need much. The offensive line is pretty solid. Stephon Diggs is there. You lose Cole Beasley. You lose Emmanuel Sanders. But they had guys who rose to the occasion and showed that they're ready to be players in this league in Gabriel Davis and Isaiah what's his name, but shouting out to that game that Chop said is the top 5 game you ever seen playing the Chiefs. It was a receiver had 4 receiver touchdowns in the game, and his name wasn't Stephon Diggs. So they've got guys who have kind of put themselves in position to get a shot to be real guys. And the way they looked the last time we all saw them, I don't think they missed Beasley or Sanders. I think they got these new crop of young guys that are going to be there, and they still have a very good Stephon Diggs. The running game is a legitimate concern. They keep throwing pieces at it. They keep throwing mud at it, trying to find something that sticks. Devin Singletary, Zach Moss. They just drafted James Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother. And so they're still trying to correct that. But when you have one of those ones, and it's not just Josh Allen, because Patrick Mahomes is the same way. Patrick Mahomes hasn't had a solid or dependable run game since he's been there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire wasn't it, was overdrafted in the bottom of the first round. And so it can be done, is what I'm saying. That's not enough for me to take them out of that number one spot, because we've seen it done. And for my money, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen is bigger, stronger, faster. Patrick Mahomes for my money, and honestly, that's honestly how I feel. And so there's nothing that Patrick Mahomes can do or has done or will do that I don't think that Josh Allen can do, and that includes winning a championship without a dependable run. And so, and you know what I mean. So I truly feel that way. And like I said, man, it's his time, man. Last year, I told y'all he's going to be the MVP. Things got off to a little rocky start, man. They got a little bumped and banged up. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. What it was is they had to run the day to play them Steelers week 1, and we bumped them in the head, and we knocked them off balance a little bit. They ain't got to worry about this year. You know what I'm saying? So I fully expect, man, these Bills to really come out and give boys hell this year, man. And you know what I'm saying? Josh Allen finally gets y'all on the wagon, man. Finally makes y'all believers, like I've been telling y'all for 2 years.
Here we go again, bro. Here we go again. I'm about to keep telling this dude Willie Jack. Anyway, man, I respectable number one. I get it. I understand it. But hey, that just ain't my team. You know what I'm saying? They got some work to do on my end as far as being the number one team. I don't think they're number one team, you know, but that's neither here nor there. So let me go ahead and jump into my number one team, man, which was your number 17. I think it was your number 17. The Cincinnati Bengals, man. And it's because of this. The one issue that the Bengals had was that offensive line. We talked about that all year long, and what they go do, they say, all right, we just made it to the Super Bowl. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna do whatever we can to bring these pieces in, and we're gonna try to go right back. You know what I'm saying? We already shown they got Joe Burrow, a young and upcoming quarterback, you know, who's showing potential. Like, he's gonna be, you know, here for a while. He's here to stay, and he's gonna be a solid guy. They got one of the best receivers in the league instantly. You know what I'm saying? A playmaker, a guy that you know you lead one-on-one. I forget, it was one game me and you was watching. It was the first game, Willie Jack, the Bengals played the Chiefs. And I don't know why the Chiefs was going one-on-one, man-to-man coverage on Jamar Chase, because it looked like, all right, look, I'm going to drop this mug back. I know I ain't going to have that much time, but I know who one-on-one, and I know who can't guard him. And ain't nobody on the Chiefs that can guard him. They was throwing that ball up, and I think Jamar Chase went for like 10 catches, 200 and some yards, and like 3 touchdowns on them boys. You know what I'm saying? On one play, he made about 6 guys miss after he broke a couple of tackles. He took a 10-yard out, 70 yards to the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, and split 8 defenders. There was 8 defenders in that frame when he caught a stop route. He wasn't hitting stride and just ran off. The boy caught a stop route, turned, drew somebody, and then got off on 7 dudes, bro. They were all around him. That was a phenomenal play. I know exactly the play you're talking about.
I'm trying. And then on defense, they got some nice players in Hilton, you know what I'm saying, and some good key pieces on that defensive end. You know what I'm saying? They can make a little noise. Trey Hendrickson, you know what I'm saying, has been a nice asset to them on defense. But the main thing for me, like I said, was that offensive line, and they addressed it. You know what I'm saying? They brought some guys in to help improve this unit. But it's not just protecting Joe Burrow is the thing that I was more so excited about. I think they finally get a chance to unlock Joe Mixon. You know what I'm saying? So we talk about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd all the time.
What you mean?
Nah, but I don't think we have seen what he's fully capable of. Like, with a good offensive line, you put a back like him behind a good offensive line, man, what you seen him do, I think could raise a level. You know what I'm saying? Now he's not gonna be taking some of those same hits he's been taking in the backfield. He's gonna get a chance to have some room to work. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have some room to work with, and I think we're gonna see a Pro Bowl season out of him for sure. So I'm anxious to see more room open up for him, which is gonna naturally open up more for that passing game as well. Which is why I feel like this team is poised to make another run at that Super Bowl, man. To make another run, to be right back. Them boys is hungry. They young and hungry. That's the thing. They young and hungry. They got a lot of guys that's used to winning, that like winning, that do not like losing. They hungry. They trying to come back, man, and they trying to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So right now, as far as where we stand, the moves they made during the draft and in the offseason, I get the Bengals as that team, man. That's coming out. They ready to make some. They ready to do it. You know what I'm saying? We look at the Bills. Yeah, they got your boy Big Josh. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Big Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they got a number one receiver in Stephon Diggs. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Time out. Did you even talk about their defense? What they doing on defense?
Listen to me. Listen to me. Yeah, they got a number one guy in Stephon Diggs, but you look at it in totality as far as all the weapons that the Bengals have, man. I think they have more than the Buffalo Bills. Joe Burrow has more to work with, and it's gonna be tough to stop them boys, man. It's tough to stop them boys. They don't have a better defense than the Bills. No, they do not. But they don't have a walk. You're not walking over them either. They not one.
No, but let's say this though, because and that's what I said. Like if you're going weapon for weapon outside of quarterback, then yeah, I take the Bengals. But that's what I was getting at with the defense, because if offenses won Super Bowls, Josh Allen would be a champion last year. You know what I'm saying? If the boy could start at safety, he'd have been in the Super Bowl. He'd have beat the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So like you gotta have a legitimate defense that can really stand up and keep you in games and put you in games. Now I'm saying that. Meanwhile, while the Bills defense let him down when they was playing Patty in Kansas City, but that was Patty in Kansas City in the playoffs. That's a tall order, and honestly, it was a magical night for both quarterbacks. Right. So you know what I mean. I don't want to discount or discredit everything they did, because they was the number one defense for a lot of that season last year. So that's a very, very, very stout defense, that they have, and I don't think it could be discounted. I just don't think it'd be discounted so much just on the strength of Cincinnati's weapons on paper. Like I think it's a little bit of an oversell for me. But I get what you're saying though. If you line up though, Burrow, Chase, Higgins now is a certified number 2 Robin. You still got Tyler Boyd, you know what I mean, who on any given week can still get you 100. He's a high upside number 3. You know what I mean? They fixed that offensive line. Mixon, only thing I'd say about Mixon, I don't think he's not yet to be unlocked, because he was a Pro Bowler last year. I think he finished number 3 in rushing. He had 1,200 yards. You know what I mean? The only thing they did wrong with Mixon was they didn't have him in on the final drive of the game in the Super Bowl, because Zach Taylor's an idiot. You know what I'm saying? It might have cost them boys the Super Bowl. So, you know what I mean? But I don't know what else. My bad, I'm going to let you go. I was going to say, I just don't know what else we haven't seen from Mixon that you think you're going to get now, especially, you know what I'm saying? He's in year 5 now. He's 27 years old.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to get from.
I think you're going to get more production, is what I'm saying. You're going to get more production instead of this past year was the most yards he's ever gotten, but that was 1,200 yards. He had 1,205. Other than that, he's cracked 1,100
on a team, mind you, that has a 5,000-yard passer, and they wants to pass the ball though. So 1,200 on that team is great production.
Right, that is good production. But what I'm telling you is, watch what happened when you put a great offensive line in front of that boy, and they really can start closing these games out. They can really start putting the hammer on teams when they get ahead, because they so explosive early in the game, and now they can close these games out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see how that defense keeps anybody from keeping them out of shootouts though. So like, I mean, yeah, they're going to score points, but I don't trust that defense. There's a lot of other teams. Like, I don't trust that defense to close the door on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because to be able to run the ball and drown out the clock, you also have a defense that's stifling as well. And I just don't see it. I like Daxter Hill, the draft pick. Eli Apple made himself a meme this season. Chidobe Awuzie had a great year. He had a really good year coming over from Dallas. I like Mike Hilton. We lost him from Pittsburgh, but
it's Jesse Bates and Von Bell, man. Those are the 2 guys in the back on the back end at safety. Jesse Bates is nice. He's nice.
No, Jesse Bates is nice. I like him coming out of Wake Forest. But here's the thing about Jesse Bates. He's in a contract year, and they franchised him, and then they drafted Daxton Hill to replace him if they don't get a deal done. But he had an up and down year. He actually was having a very down year last year, and he took off the last month and a half of the year, and then played well to the playoffs. But he was very inconsistent last year in totality. So I'm telling you, man. That defense that make me feel warm and fuzzy.
But what I'm saying is, the Bengals don't have a defense. They don't have a top 5 defense in the league, but they don't have a bottom 10 defense in the league either. You know what I'm saying? I think their defense is going to sit in the middle of the road. But I think that's
what's the difference between the Bengals defense and the Chiefs defense?
You said what? Say it again.
What's the difference between the Bengals defense and the Chiefs defense? Because I don't see a big difference. Now, I mean, maybe you can argue which one's better or not, but I'm saying like they're the same caliber of defense. You know what I'm saying?
Not anymore. I don't think Chiefs have anything now. I don't.
They didn't have that last year.
No, they had
well, they had Tyrann Mathieu, but
right.
Justin Reed coming over from Houston, he doesn't have the name recognition of Mathieu. Mathieu was still getting older, and Mathieu wasn't the player last year that he was 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So he's taking baby steps back as well. Father Time catches up with everybody, and so going forward, I don't think there's outside of the energy, the demeanor, the nasty, the dog, you know what I'm saying, the locker room presence, the pregame speech and getting everybody hyped and rallied up, outside of that, but play for play on the field this upcoming year, I don't think Justin Reed's going to be far off from what they had last year. You know what I'm saying? Really, honestly.
All I'm saying is I can see the Bengals defense being anywhere from a 15th, ranked 15th defense to the ranked 18th defense. And they can be anywhere in there, and that's good enough with the offensive weapons. That's good enough to win, bro. That's what you need. That same defense that you're talking about is the same defense. Yeah, they gave us some points to the Chiefs, but they beat the Chiefs both times when it counted in the playoffs and in the regular season. You know what I'm saying? The same Chiefs team that beat the Bills in the playoffs, going back and forth. Like this is a new era, bro. This is a new era.
No.
And I
get what you're saying, but I'm saying it's like
I also don't think it's a shootout every single week either. Like this defense is good enough to where when they play. All right, let's talk about some of the team. We can talk about some of the team. I think they match up well with any team in the AFC. I just put it out there. They match up well.
Because with that offense and what they showed and what they showed they could do, I mean, yeah, for sure, this is an offensive league, you know. And so if you can score points, you got a chance, and that's a team that can score points. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like on the basis of evaluating the strengths of the teams, I don't see how Josh Allen with last year's #1 defense is under Joe Burrow, who still had an up and down year themselves. You know what I'm saying? They got high at the right time and roll out of momentum, and then Joe stepped up in some huge moments in some huge games. I'm not taking that away, but I mean, I don't think that they were flash in the pan. I don't want to go as far as to say that, but I need to see more than 7 games worth of it. Like now is when you come out, and now this is the season where you establish like, nah, it wasn't no game last year. Nah, we didn't just sneak up on you last year. Nah, Jamar Chase wasn't a rookie who every week you wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like now everybody knows everybody sees the Bengals coming now. Even last year in some of the games that they were winning, you know, they were still kind of like, oh man, the Bengals beat the Chiefs. It was still, you know what I'm saying? People didn't necessarily see them coming. This year is going to be different. And so now this year, I think, is the year where, and I'm not totally disagreeing that they're not going to be firmly in the mix. I do think they are. But I think you gave them a little too much credit on the strength of about half a season. Whereas like now this is the season to really stamp it and show that, or at least in my mind.
And the reason why though is because when you look at the games they lost, it was all because Joe Burrow was getting beat up. He was getting beat up. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I seen how they overcame in the playoffs and towards the end of the season. They made the runs, and I think they have everything they need to be a team that can make a run for it again. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. I get y'all. I get you wanting to see some consistency, but the same way you want to see some consistency with them, I could argue the same way with you with the Chargers. I want to see some consistency before I put them in the top 10. Yeah, they added some pieces.
This is so funny. You was the Chargers guy. You was the Chargers.
Wait, because the Chargers added pieces, and that's the reason why you put them in your top 10, because of the pieces they added. The Bengals added pieces, and that's the reason why I moved on. They was in the Super Bowl last year. Go ahead.
No. But I'm trying to. That's what I was thinking. Like, I don't know what pieces they added. Not to that defense outside of Daxton Hill, who they drafted as a rookie.
You don't know. Are we talking about the defense? Who added?
Who did the Bengals add up to that defense? You said they added some pieces. Who am I missing?
No, I'm not saying they added defensive pieces. I'm saying they added pieces in general.
Oh no, you for sure did. That fixing that offensive line was major. It really was. That's layout Collins.
That was the
they get captains from Tampa Bay. Like that was major. It really was major. But the Super Bowl favorite. That's your Super Bowl favorite being the Bengals, Brad. That feels a little rich. It feels not crazy because I mean
What pick ain't rich? All these picks rich. Come on,
Nah,
man.
I don't think
You
so.
know what
Some
this
of them richer
is?
than others. I
You
tell
know
you,
what
some of
this
them richer
is?
than others.
You know
Hey,
what this
hold
is?
on, real quick. Hey, shout out to Caleb, man. What's the word, man? He said he agreed with Willie. He need to see the Bengals consistently be who we saw the latter half of the season. That's all I'm saying. Like it feels premature to step them as a Super Bowl favorite on the strength of like a strong ass like 6-7 games. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. But let's recap the list real quick, and then we can kind of get back into it. For so we have folks in and out and all that good stuff. So let's recap the list, man. You want me to go first?
Yeah,
Go first.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right. So recapping the list, man. My number 10, I had Baltimore Ravens. Number 9, I had the Indianapolis Colts. 8, Green Bay Packers. 7, I had Cincinnati. Now, I did preface that 1 and 2 for me were their own tier. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, like, you know what I'm saying? All those guys were could be arranged. But 7, Cincinnati. 6, Kansas City. 5, the Chargers. 4, the Rams. 3, Denver. 2, Tom Brady and them, and 1, Big Josh Allen. That was my top 10 going into the season power rankings. Skinny back in the thing. What's the word, man?
Hey, my number 10, I had the Browns at 10, Packers at 9, Ravens at 8, Raiders at 7, Chiefs at 6, Broncos at 5, Bucks at 4, Rams at 3, Bills 2, and the Bengals 1.
I'm gonna tell you what's throwing your hoe. The Raiders in your top 10 and the Chargers not, bro. You sabotage yourself. I don't see the logic for it. I just cannot see the logic for that, bro. I just can't, man. I can't see it. I cannot see it. I can't, man. I can't. But hey, to each his own. To each his own. No, you know what I mean?
I told you.
To each his own.
I told you. I don't care what nobody talking about. This is my list. This what it's gonna be. And I need anybody just because this, you know what? Never mind, because y'all don't do it anyway. I try to get y'all to do it. Try to get y'all to remember what I be trying to tell y'all, but then y'all try to flip it and change the words. I be trying to tell y'all, man. I be ahead on this.
Yeah, we will see. Hey, Jarrell, at 2, Chop had Buffalo at 2. Jarrell didn't hear you say it at 2. He had Buffalo at 2 and Cincinnati at 1. All right, real quick on the spot. Who's the worst team in the league? Who was at the bottom of your list? If you was gonna go, I went all 32, but if you was to list them all out, who's the bottom of the list for you?
I go Seattle.
Really?
Seattle's the worst team in the NFL to me.
I went worse than Atlanta?
Yeah. Because
impossible.
Huh?
Name 3 starters on offense for Atlanta.
For Atlanta?
And 2 of them are freebies. 2 of them are freebies.
Cordell Patterson.
Oh, no, yeah, you got 3. Cordell Patterson came back, and you get pissed and get Mariota, yeah.
Mariota.
And Mariota.
You know what I'm saying?
Give me 2 more.
Give you 2 more?
You can't.
Let's go. No, Mike Davis gone. They got they got the young guy running back now.
I'm gonna say,
let's go.
Don't nobody know. Don't nobody know. Don't even worry about it. That's my point.
They go
Atlanta is the worst team in the league.
Russell Gage.
Russell Gage went to Tampa Bay.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, man, Atlanta's terrible. Atlanta is terrible.
Okay.
Seattle.
What do you name me 4 on Seattle's offense?
Well, I know Seattle. Drew Luck, Rashad Penny, and Chris Carson. Still got DK Tyler Luck.
First off, we don't know which quarterback starting, so we can't name no starter.
Well, Drew Luck is slated to start. Now, I don't know if he'll hold on to it, but he's slated as the starter. Drew Luck is slated to start. You got Rashad Penny and Chris Carson between them 2. You still got DK and Lockett. They brought over Noah Fant from Denver and part of the trade. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they drafted Charles Cross. Come on, man. You know I do this, man. Come on, man.
Hey.
But I can't even tell you 2 more starters on the Atlanta team, though. I can't even tell you 2 more on Atlanta.
They're going to be terrible, bro. The Seahawks going to be terrible.
No, they're going to be good. But, boy, they're going to be worse. They're going to be better than Atlanta, though.
Mariota going to get busy. Stop playing. Mariota going to get busy.
I ain't going to say that, man. Hey, I ain't going to say that.
Hey, I bet you Mariota have a better season than Jameis Winston.
Boy, you crazy as hell. You crazy as hell. You crazy as hell. But not for me. It was the Atlanta, and then I think Carolina. Like, Seattle was my 3rd worst. If I was going, like, my bottom 5 were Houston, the Giants, the Seahawks, the Panthers, and then the Falcons was my bottom 5. But hey, you know another thing too, man. In the chat, y'all still in here? Hey, man, somebody give me y'all top three, man. Which y'all think before we? It's probably about time to wrap it up, man. Somebody give me they top one or top two, top three or something real quick, man. Before we wrap it on up.
Hey, Jarrell.
Hey, Jarrell said you checking that CBDT. It's time for you to go ahead and lay it down. Hey,
look, Jarrell.
Hey, man, y'all don't hold this against Chop personally, but the boy been sick. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if he got that thing or not.
Hey, I done told, matter of fact, before the season, me and Jarrell said something like this before last season. When I told him that Josh Allen was going to regress from his MVP-like season the year before. He ain't want to.
No, because you used the wrong word for regress.
No,
the stats are down, so he regressed as a player. That's not at all. That's not what that means, man. That's not what that means. I tell you who regressed. Then your boy Saquon. He ain't even progressed. He can't regress because he ain't never progressed. So I take that back. How about that? Like, yeah, nah, that boy Josh Allen played championship football, and like I said, man, he had a number one defense that just shit the bed on him. Number one defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. Now, like I said, it's a tall order, man. At night in Kansas City in the playoffs, that's a tall order, but still, you gotta make a play, man. They let Josh down. They let Josh Allen down, man. They really did.
I'm trying to tell y'all.
Man, Jarrell said his number one team is also the Bills, my dog.
The Bucks and
then you got the Bucks at 2. Hey, me and you both, boy. Buffalo and Tom Brady. Boy, hey, Kayla said, chill on the Saquon slander. Hey, man, hey, it is what it is, man. I want him to do well. But hey, man, you can't make the club in the tub, man. Can't make the club in the tub.
A lot of y'all too high on the Bucks, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Well, that's Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady now. And Tom Brady got his same team in a weak division. Come on, man. I'm gonna tell you like this. That's half the battle.
Since Tom Brady been over at the Bucks, they ain't beat the Rams one time yet. That's all I'm gonna tell you. They ain't beat them once.
Yeah, I mean they 0-2, but I mean they 0-2. The bigger challenge.
They 0-3.
Y'all played them 3 times?
Yeah, because we played them in the regular season both years. They lost, and they played them in playoffs, lost again. Hey, they can't beat us, bro.
Okay, yeah, y'all did play another year too. I ain't gonna go that far. And you talking about yesterday? They beat y'all tomorrow. I tell you that they beat y'all tomorrow because they ain't gonna be missing 4 starters on offense, Chop. They'll beat y'all tomorrow.
Oh, out of all those games, they was only missing 4 starters that game. The rest of the games, they had all of them. They lost still.
No. I'm talking about the one that count. I'm talking about the playoff one. Jarrell said at 3 he got the Bengals. I ain't mad at it. The Bengals and the Bengals were in the mix they were in the like 3, 4, 5, and 6 for me were all kind of interchangeable. 3, 4, 6, yeah, all of them until Green Bay were kind of interchangeable. So Bengals at 3, I don't think is crazy. You know what I'm saying? As far as what Jarrell said, but I don't think that's crazy. What you got, man? Any closing remarks?
That's it, man. But I will say though, I can see the Chiefs being the team that slide down the most out of all the teams in my top 10.
I don't know, man. I mean, Tyreek is a big part of the offense, but I don't want to overdo it as well. Patrick Mahomes, because if the Chiefs fall too far back, then what's that say about Patrick Mahomes as a player? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a transcendent type of talent.
The same thing I told y'all in the beginning, and ain't nobody want to hear. If you don't remember, I said, and y'all took it the wrong way. I'm gonna say it again though. If now with what Patrick Mahomes has, if he started off with this team that he has right now, does he throw 55 touchdowns his first year as a starter like he did before?
I don't know, man. Because here's the thing, though, Chop. You can't get too caught on the specific number. That's what I'm saying. Like when you talk about Josh Allen regressing, his numbers not as good. Hold on, let me rebuttal. Okay. What I'm saying is like you can't get caught up in like, well, he ain't gonna throw 55 touchdowns his first year now, so he ain't gonna be as good. Like, no, that's not. No. It's not the wrong number. It's still the plays made on the field and the things he's doing. The number's gonna be what the numbers are. You know what I'm saying? But that's too far.
Listen, what I'm saying though. I said that because I don't want people to pay attention to the number. That's why I said it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Is because the 55 touchdowns in the first year.
It wasn't 55. That's the record. Peyton Manning got that record. 55 touchdowns. It wasn't 55.
How many was it?
It was it 48 or maybe was it 50? Was that first year 50?
Patrick Mahomes definitely threw over.
I don't know if he threw a 50 touchdown season, bro. Peyton Manning got 55 with the record. Tom Brady and Drew Brees, I think, each have a 50.
Bro,
and then
50.
I think that's
he do 50. I'm sorry, not 50, but he do 50. He do 50.
Okay, was it 50? Okay, yeah,
His
yeah.
first year start. But this is what I'm saying. The reason that people look, I'm talking about the mass football audience. The reason why people were so quick to name him as the future best QB of all time. That's what. Am I lying? Have people been saying that?
No.
You said people haven't been saying that?
No, I'm saying you're not lying. Yeah.
Right. The sole reason that I think people have been saying it is because of the number. That's what I'm trying to.
That's not true, Chop. That's not true. It was the throw. It was the arm talent, the throws he made. Now people maybe overdid it with the no look passes because Matt Stafford been doing that shit in Detroit. You know, and Aaron Rodgers has done it. So it really caught fire. But I don't think it was the raw number, bro. He made plays and throws that just everybody just doesn't make those plays or throws. I don't think at all it was the number like, oh man, this guy threw 50 touchdowns. We've seen 50 touchdowns. I don't think we disagree there.
Okay,
we disagree.
Listen to me. What did you see from Patrick Mahomes this past year?
As far well, give me some type of context. That's a broad question. Like, give me what you mean.
If you had to describe his season, like me and you talked about it from game to game. We've seen a lot of it.
He was definitely inconsistent, and I was on his ass all year. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember, I was on his ass all year. He was Patty Winston. You know what I'm saying? He was Jameis Mahomes. So I ain't give him no slack, but I also don't want to over criticize or over penalize him because he's not a fluff reputation player, because it sounds like you saying he's built up on fluff instead of substance. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna go that far at all. You know what I'm saying? So he did have an up and down year, but he's still outside of, you know, yeah.
My next question for you: if he plays the way he plays last season throughout the remainder of his career, then who was he?
He's a Super Bowl contender every year then. What you saying, bro? He went to the AFC Championship game. If he duplicates every year last year, he's a Super Bowl contender for the remainder of his career, a guy who's going to win another MVP, and a guy who's got a ring. He's a Hall of Famer if he plays like that the rest of his career. He's still a Hall of Famer, bro.
Right. He's a Hall of Famer. But is it at the same level of what it was when that first year is what I'm asking.
No, because you still
that's all I'm saying.
You gotta get rings though. You gotta get rings. So it's not enough. If numbers was enough to make you the GOAT, Peyton Manning would be everybody's GOAT. Or Peyton Manning would be everybody's GOAT instead of just my GOAT, personally. You know what I'm saying? If it was just raw numbers and raw stat production, but it's not. It's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? That's always been the argument when it's Brady and Tom head to head, is because it's got to be deeper than the numbers, especially at quarterback. The rings count for quarterbacks. It's just how it is. Wins count for pitchers, and rings count for quarterbacks. And so the greatest of all time thing is an estimation on him winning more Super Bowls because he won one so early. You know what I'm saying? So since he should have went to one that first year, but stupid ass D Ford lines up in the neutral zone. Tom Brady throws an interception. Remember, Tom Brady throws an interception. He gets called back. Yeah, D Ford's in the neutral zone. They get a pick that would have sent them to the Super Bowl. Instead, Tom Brady gets the first down. They win that game. So he doesn't go to the Super Bowl his first year. That's a phenomenal year. He would have been in the Super Bowl his first year as a starter. The next year, he wins the Super Bowl. So his first 2 years in the league, they could have been, and not it's all hyperbole, it's all hypothesizing or whatever, but he could have been a 2-time Super Bowl champion in his first 2 years as a starter. Regardless of what the numbers was, I don't give a damn if it was 38 touchdowns instead of 55. Like, the way he did it and the throws he made while he did it, like, that's phenomenal. So I don't think it's fluff instead of substance. I still think there's a lot of substance there. You know what I'm saying? But I do see the point of what you're saying as far as,
I'm basically saying
it wasn't going to be a spotless.
I feel like people was too high too early. That's all I'm saying. People were astronomically high on him, and I felt like it was too high too early. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do get what you're saying, but I mean, nobody had 2 years like that. I mean, Dan Marino set that passing record. Dan Marino broke 5,000 yards in 1984. But we didn't get another 5,000 yard passer, bro, until Drew Brees. Like, almost 20 years later. You know, but even in that year, when Dan Marino threw 5,000, I want to say it was 84 because he got drafted in 83, and I think it was his second year in the league. 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns. Both those records stood for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And so, but even in that year, he didn't go. No, he did go to the Super Bowl and he lost it, and then he never went back. You know what I'm saying? Like Patrick Mahomes hit the league like Dan Marino did, except he won a Super Bowl. Imagine if Dan Marino won a Super Bowl at the stage of career that Patrick Mahomes is now. Like, imagine that. Like, how much bigger? And imagine in that time when everybody saw Dan, is like, shit, who's this kid? Who's Dan Marino? You know what I'm saying? Imagine if he'd actually won a Super Bowl and still been young and still had 15 more years of play to go. You'd be saying like, oh man, he's shitting on Johnny Unitas. this Dan Marino kid's crazy. Like you got to put it in the right context.
All I'm saying is I learned my lesson with Aaron Rodgers. I learned my lesson.
No, you was hard on A-Rod. I told you that though. You was hard on A-Rod. Yeah,
right. But how were we on him when he won his first Super Bowl so early?
No, well, I wasn't that high because he stole one from my dog.
I know.
I should have 3 rings right now.
I'm saying people in
but no,
general.
I see what you're saying.
Like
no, I see what.
Like you gotta show it. You gotta show it, bro.
No, but hold on. Here's the thing too, though. People still consider until Mahomes. People still consider Aaron Rodgers the most talented quarterback. People still consider Aaron to be a more talented quarterback than Tom. So it's the GOAT conversation for quarterback is always different because the rings do get weighted so heavy. Like there's no reason that Dan Marino shouldn't be a top 3 or 4 quarterback for everybody, but he's not. He's behind Elway and he's behind Favre on some people's list. He's behind a lot of guys that he probably should be ahead of and would be if he got those rings. And so the rings, Aaron Rodgers, when he won that Super Bowl, he was doing things. He was one of those guys that was a standout as far as a special talent, special arm, et cetera. But he couldn't sustain the championship success, and that's what knocked him down. You know what I'm saying? If he was able to sustain championship success, then yeah, it'd be still a debate right now who's the GOAT. If he wins, let's say if he wins 2 more rings in this time frame, that means Tom Brady lost 2 more rings, and so that's Aaron Rodgers with 3 rings or Tom Brady with 4. Who's maybe not taking Aaron Rodgers now? Like, how different is that legacy now?
Right.
It was 3 rings or 4, but Aaron Rodgers is superior in every facet of quarterback.
Here's another part to their games too, though, and this is the last thing because we getting off target. But another part to the game, when you look at the inconsistencies that we saw from Patrick Mahomes this past year, was the turnovers. That's one thing we don't ever see from Aaron Rodgers. We don't see high turnover years.
No, and that's fair. And also, Aaron Rodgers, he plays. Aaron Rodgers will tank a play before he risks a turnover, and that's what him and Mike McCarthy. That's one of the reasons they bumped heads is because Aaron Rodgers is conscious of his stats. Like he's really a selfish player, and I don't want to knock him like I know him personally, but just the vibe that I get and from the things that came out and that are said from him, he's a selfish player, bro. He is a guy who's out there for me. And so if it's going to be try to make a tough pass, try to thread the needle and fit one in or throw it in the dirt, he's throwing that bitch he's throwing it in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Now, not to say every single time, but enough times that his teammates, some of his receivers, they get on, you know what I'm saying? There's issues with that. And so he's consciously trying to avoid those things. Imagine if Brett Favre gave a damn about his stats. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not a throw that Aaron Rodgers makes that I didn't see Brett Favre make first. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. And the mobility, rolling out, throwing 70 on a rope, I saw Favre do it. You know, I saw Favre do that with Robert Freeman. He didn't have Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? I saw Favre do those things with less talent around him and in a more aggressive league. But Favre didn't give a damn about those stats. You know what I'm saying? I'll throw 3 picks to get these 4 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just a different mindset. But Man, yeah, we got off topic. I forgot where we was going with that. But to say, you know, if Aaron Rodgers would have maintained championship success, then he still would be looked at like that. That's the point I'm saying. Because this is all predicated on Mahomes still has time to win. He's like what? He's like 26. How old is Mahomes, bro? Mahomes is like somebody tell me in the chat if y'all know. Shane and this thing going on, man. Shout out to Harris Payton in the building, man. How old is my dog?
He's 27.
Oh yeah, 27. How old is Tom Brady? 45? Boy, Patrick Mahomes got 20 years left if he want them. You know what I'm saying? Patrick may have 20 more years left. So right now, if you was a gambling man and the bet was going to be in the next 15 years, does Patrick Mahomes win 2? If the over-under was 2 on Patrick Mahomes winning 2 more championships over the next 15 years, and you had to bet your wife's mortgage payment, you know what I'm saying? You had to bet your wife's money. Most of us would take the 2 rings over the next 15 years because that's the trajectory he's on. Like Marino and Aaron Rodgers, we know the end of their story, and so it's different. But when you right there in the moment and you looking forward, bro, it looks like it's gonna be a scary sight. And that's what it was for Mahomes, and that's what it is for Mahomes for most of y'all. But I already recognize the big Josh Allen is the guy. Give me big Josh Allen all day long. You understand me? Personally. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for him to get one, man, so I can finally walk with y'all on the bus. You know what I'm saying? I'm dragging the, you know what I'm saying, the fan wagon, so y'all can jump on when y'all ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all one more chance.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man.
Hey, appreciate you, little bro, man. Hey, appreciate the dog. My little brother said he had to get up out of here.
I'm gonna
appreciate you,
like
bro.
this, man. Bring us on home, cause y'all in here talking crazy, and I done told y'all what's gonna happen. Okay.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, man. Hey,
y'all just watch and remember what Chop told y'all. Y'all gonna be like, hey, man, Chop be. He knows what he's talking about.
I think what it is, and I'm gonna wrap it up. I think what it is I think I get what you're saying, but I think you're going too hard on it though. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like I get, man, you're going a little too hard on Patty though, bro. Like it's some stuff because there's been players where it was like all fluff, and then we like, nah, he ain't even really that guy like that. Like, nah, he got some stuff.
Listen. Only thing I just think it's levels to it, bro. It's levels to it. Me and you talked about Russell Wilson all the time.
Mm-hmm.
To me, watching him and now seeing what's about to be surrounded by him, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. And tell me Russell Wilson get the same respect those other quarterbacks we done talked about get. Tell me.
Well, Russ didn't, and the reason for that was he didn't arrive when they were championship contenders. He didn't arrive until after the championship run, and so that's
why this show is called "Let the Film Speak," because I want people to watch the ball, watch ball. Stop watching about how they arrive, and watch them play on the field. You watch them guys play on the field, man. It's right here.
No, I love Russ. No, you're right. Yeah, y'all already know how I feel about Russ. I love Russ.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people were so, oh, man, it's the greatest. Man, them guys is right here, man. They right here. Yeah. Watch man, you talk about Nick Chubb and all the other quarterbacks. Go watch the film. Go watch them boys ball. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
No. I dig what you're saying, but like I say, it's one thing. Like those rings give you so much more validation. That's what it is, bro. When the rings really do, the rings really make or break the legacy of the quarterback, bro. It just really does.
They got but no,
I get what you're saying. But the way they got him, like Russ got his more so in the passenger seat, whereas Patty got his driving that thing. You know what I'm saying? He got his, you know what I'm saying, bending them. You know what I'm saying? He got his whipping through. You know what I'm saying? Russ was in the co-pilot holding the map. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? He wasn't he wasn't behind the wheel though, and that's why he doesn't get the same level of respect as Aaron or Patty got for that. Just they all got one ring.
Okay.
But hey man, good show today, man. We ran long. We a little bit over 2 hours in this thing, man. We apologize for that. Hey, we appreciate all the support though, man. Kaylin, jump back in, man. You right in time to hear us wrapping on down, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Jarrell into this thing. Hold on, man. I'm going back to the top. William White came to this thing. The new Jets fan, man. Appreciate you coming through. Holla at your dogs, man. The support system was in there, man. Shout out to my little sister, shout out to my little brother. My mom stopped through, man. Appreciate the home team showing out for your boy. Jarrell came through this thing, man. Scrolling. What we got in here? Skinny came to this thing, man. Oldie but goodie, man. Scott dropped through this thing, man. Who else we got, man? Hey, y'all already know what's going on, man. If I forgot to say your name, man, charge it to my head, man. Don't charge it to my heart, man. You know I was thinking about you, man. We appreciate all the comments, man. We appreciate all the support, man. We appreciate all the engagement, man. Yeah, I already know what I'm going to say, bro. We say this every time because we mean it, man. We really sincerely, really appreciate everybody rocking with us, man. We got some developments coming, man. We got big moves coming, man. Y'all stay tuned, man. We only going up. We taking y'all with us. Y'all see, y'all be on the lookout for that, man. Some major announcements and the major changes coming to the show, man. So we're excited for that, man. Excited to bring y'all on this journey with us for sure. One more time for the three amigos, man. Shout out to the sponsorship, man. Keeping the lights on, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate all the love, man. We will be back Wednesdays, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, man. I don't even wear a watch because you know why? Because I know Wednesdays at 7, I know where to be. I ain't need no watch right now. Because Wednesdays at 7, you in here with your dogs, Chop and Willie, letting the film speak, getting into it. You know what's going on. Chop ain't got no watch on Wednesdays because we know at 7 o'clock, I know where else to be. You feel me? Holla at your dogs, man. Next Wednesday, man, we will be back. We will be in full effect. We're gonna find the topic. You know what I'm saying? We'll work that out a little bit later. But hey, other than that, man, y'all stay smooth, man. Y'all know what it is. Let the film speak. Chop and Willie, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. Holla at your dogs, man. Peace.